think when we got on the podium there that Deegan was going to say something about how that went, or...
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother...
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow. You bleach your hair, you're a sellout. Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 242. We are back in studio here. We are going to wrap up all the action from High Point. We got a full-packed show here. We have Privateer Hero and Michigan native Jace Kessler coming on later to kind of talk about how his outdoor season has been going. And then we've got our usual friend of the show, Kevin Moranz, going to come on and kind of talk about his World Supercross deal he's got going on here with the Nils Honda team. I think it's time for me to go back to Honda.
I've been saying that for a while.
Well, I'm just saying, Kev's got some really cool parts for Hondas now.
Oh, boy.
I could use some really cool parts.
Some unobtainium.
I mean, did you watch his vlog?
No.
He's got forks and shock with the cool coated lowers.
The nitrate coating?
Yes. Which I did ask about when I got my stuff done, and they told me, it wears off. So unless you're going to redo it all the time, don't waste your money.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks cool.
So anyway, okay, before we get started, let's thank our sponsors here. So first off, presenting sponsors. First up, Complete Racing Solutions. Check them out, CompleteRacingSolutions.com. The mad scientist, Coach Rob, can scientifically help you both on and off the bike, even if you don't ride moto. You're just trying to lose weight, get in shape, any of the above, do maybe some marathons, some ultra marathons, some triathlons. He can help with all that. So again, make sure to check them out, CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Also presenting the show, TLR Coatings, Michigan's #1 custom powder coating shop. They do it all. If it's metal, will coat. Make sure to check them out, TLRcoatings.com, and on all the major social media networks at TLR Coatings. And check out all the Cerakoting and custom powder coating they do. Also on board with us, Holster Co., Gutter Worx, Adept Creative Co., and Issac Nelson Designs. Do you have a rant? I don't think I have a rant this week. I checked my notes on the phone.
Oh, really?
I did, with it being Father's Day. By the way, happy Father's Day to everybody here who's out there, who's dad. We'll have the Gutter Worx bringing you our 450 race recap, our Adept Creative Co., 250 race recap, our Issac Nelson Designs, Deegan Danger Zone segment. And we'll see if we can figure out a rant here. So, anyway, let's... in studio with me here, Justin's back. Hey, bud.
Hey. Would have been on the show last week, but like I said, I texted you that morning. I've been dealing with some sinus issues and some other stuff, and I didn't want to be coughing into the mic every 2 seconds.
I told Ashley, I was like, he's trying to change his spots. Look at this. He's apologetic. He told me what was going on.
Well, I looked at it and I was like, I'd been dealing with, like I said, the sinus stuff and allergies, which is not something that I'm used to. I'm not allergic to a lot of stuff outside of dust, which is also oddly weird for me. And I've been dealing with it for a while, and I don't know if you can still kind of tell in my voice, like I'm just getting over it. But I'm sitting there going, I don't really want to be coughing into the mic, because first off, that's just not going to be a good show. And second off, like,
it's okay.
I don't want to spit on everything.
We held it down.
So
I'm good for 45 minutes of ranting by myself.
I know. So
all right. Hold on a sec here. I know I got some show notes because I had a couple things from last week that I didn't get to use last week.
Oh, and yesterday was a pretty interesting day all around, I think. So
yes.
There's quite a bit of stuff to talk about.
Okay. So a few things here. We'll start with this before we get into 450s. And this doesn't really apply here because of what happened last week. But I had who was the bigger title favorite, Prado or Herlings? Obviously, had some issues there.
Yeah,
your boy.
Yeah, man, just stupid shit. Really weird too, because like
was super weird.
He's not, and we've talked about this before. He's not really a crasher within motos themselves. It's always like stupid stuff. So that was, but the rumor going around is everybody goes like, yeah, he broke his back, he broke his neck, and then it was funny because like there was a picture of him in his garden like the day later, just kind of hanging out. So he didn't break his neck or his back. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be back for, I think it's Indonesia.
Next week or the week after?
I think the next round is this weekend.
Okay.
So I think he's supposed to be there. So, yeah, he's probably out of the title hunt and probably at this point is just going to try to win as much as possible. But kind of sucks. But, yeah, I think at this point Prado's probably got that title on lock, even though he's very much benefited from these extra 10 points in the qualifiers.
Oh, yeah.
He just rips whole shots and gaps.
Yep. Okay, the next thing I had here is for the 250 class. I'll just throw this out there, even though it's pretty much null and void anymore. Who's a bigger title threat, Cooper or Deegan? Obviously, we all know what's happening there. So
I would have said Cooper up until
yesterday. We'll get to that when we talk 250s. Colin Park's going to ride for the PNG WSX team, so I thought that was an interesting...
Yeah, 450, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that was.
I don't remember, though.
That was interesting, or that is very interesting.
Because he was supposed to race outdoors.
Yeah. Well, and then obviously the Phoenix team is not. I don't know. I mean, cool for him. I don't really know how well he's going to do, whether he'd be riding the 450 or the 250. But I mean, good deal for him. It is still weird to think that he's not riding outdoors, though.
Yeah. And then the last thing I had, you see Faulkner's training with Rhino?
I did see that, or hear about it. I didn't see it. I heard about it.
I watched one of the All Fun vlogs yesterday. They were working at the turn track, which I was like, this is great.
I mean, look, dude, Rhino could definitely help him with his technique and how he goes about approaching things.
What he's doing.
It might, hey, man, it might be beneficial for him because everybody's always kind of said if Faulkner can find somebody that can set him on the right path, we all know the kid's got the talent to win all the time if he wants to. So who knows? And, they're still saying that he might come back for the last couple outdoors. So if he comes back and all of a sudden he starts winning, we'll see.
Well, he was on a small turn track.
Well, and he was also at Paula riding the vet track a while ago
when
he started riding. So he's kind of easing back into it, which is smart. I mean, he had a pretty devastating injury to start his year.
He's riding 4 days a week right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, dude.
My thing is, though, is like, okay, if they film that vlog, and I think they only do it every Friday, so if it came out Friday, and so that was last week, so it's like, well, if you're up to riding 4 days a week, like, how many more weeks are you going to go here before you come back? Like, I understand you haven't really been riding, but it's outdoors, and it's kind of like you can ride yourself back into shape at outdoors because you need to race.
I will assume he's either going to come back for Washougal or he'll be back for the last 3. If I were to bet money, I can almost guarantee he'll be back for Unadilla Buds and Ironman.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we need look, dude. Fucking even now in the 250s, everybody's dropping like flies. So we need some more guys to come back at this point.
Yeah, it was good for the first 2 rounds. Yet here we are.
Well, Hammaker's coming back for Redbud, so that'll be an injection of some more talent. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, there's normally it's always the 450 class, but now it's the 250 class, and
yeah,
I think that has something to be said where we're getting to the point that like we need to start changing some things about how we're going about these guys going about their careers, because now it seems to be an issue that everybody just is getting hurt all the time, and I think these dudes are just getting worn out.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. All right, let's jump in here. 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutter Worx. Gutter Worx, always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. Make sure to check them out. Link in the description down below. Thanks to Josh and Kayla. We'll see you guys at Redbud in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. All right, so 450s here.
Interesting day.
We are 8 for 8.
With adversity yesterday.
So I actually had this question for you last week, and then you weren't here. So last week he goes out first moto, and he wins by 24 seconds?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was something.
Which the way the track was, I mean, it's kind of, even though the track was a lot deeper, it was kind of like a Paula situation. Like, you had to be very precise to go out and ride that track.
So he wins by 24 the first moto. Yeah. Second moto wins by 11 or 12, but it was raining, so it got real greasy. Mm-hmm. Now, yesterday, we see him...
chinking the armor a little bit. Chinking the armor a little bit.
That's what you're going to call that?
Yeah, totally. I said in the text that I was impressed yesterday. He went through some adversity, he persevered, but you can't look at the glaring fact that he and everybody struggled, so it's not just a jet thing.
Yeah. That track was fucked yesterday.
It was.
From Jump Street. When I turned on practice and it was mud, I was like, oh, God.
And see, I was gone all day Friday and Saturday, and I wasn't in town, so I didn't even get to watch anything.
Where'd you go? You didn't tell me you left.
I was just in Jackson.
Doing what?
That's not for podcast. There was... I'll tell you sometime.
Does it have something to do with upside down pineapples?
No, but it has to deal with never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Upside down pineapples.
No, not upside down pineapples.
Down.
No. So everybody was struggling, so it wasn't just a jet thing, but you also can't look at the fact that, and like I said, everybody else was struggling all day. Jet didn't look great. I mean, even Ricky said, like, hey, this is the most that I've seen Jet make this many mistakes. Like, he went down. We have yet to see him do that on a 450. Apparently, he crashed like 4 times in practice.
Yeah, he did.
So, like, you can't sit there and go that
the tip overs in practice, though, were not something that I went, oh, God, like, what are we doing? Because
but
it
it's
was
also
such a shit show.
But it's something that Jet doesn't do, though.
Yes.
It's something. It's kind of like the moron that said a couple weeks ago when I made a comment about Jet after Hangtown. Like, oh, making mistakes. And they're like, well, it wasn't making mistakes, just the way the track is. When you're somebody like Jet and as talented as smooth he is, when it's something that's outside of the norm, it's a mistake. That's the definition of mistake.
Yeah.
Jet doesn't make those kind of mistakes. So when it happens, it's a mistake.
It was
so
different,
like, and the way he went down, he knifed the front, and hey, like Hunter had his same issues, and they have similar riding styles, and we saw what happened to Cooper and RJ, so on and so forth. So I think there was a little bit of it's kind of like Unadilla last year. Like, I think Jet yesterday, he persevered. I'm very impressed. The fact that he went through that, he was able to pull it back in, calm himself down, didn't override the bike, which he has done in the past sometimes on the 250 when he gets into trouble. But there was a little bit of the chink in the armor, and he was making mistakes that, once again, were uncharacteristic. And I think yesterday, you seen the first time, it wasn't 100%, but he was pushing. Like, he was pushing because there were moments yesterday where you could tell that he was dropping his lap time, and then Kenny mirrored it a little bit, and he had to drop it down, and ultimately, like, the second moto, like, I think his fastest lap was like a second faster than Kenny's fastest lap, or whoever had this. I don't know, maybe it was Dylan or whatever. But look, man, when you make those mistakes, and Jet doesn't normally make those kind of mistakes, it's a chink in the armor because it's something that's not normal for him. I mean, for fuck's sake, even the fact that he didn't get the whole shot, and he'd gotten every whole shot pretty much to that point, it kind of shows you going in that, like, you could tell he was thinking a little bit like, hey, I'm riding a little bit harder than I thought I would have to beat Kenny, which...
Did you listen to his interview, though, after his podium interview?
No.
They made a fork change, and it took him half that second moto to figure it out. He said the first half of the moto, he's like, dude, it wasn't.
And that's fine, though, but also, like, that's not an excuse because Ken Roxon, like, should have never been as close as he was to Jet at all yesterday. I mean, Ken Roxon had 4 days on an outdoor track on a fork and a shock that he had not gotten used to. So, like, I don't care. Like, it's...
Like, you don't think... Okay, so... you don't think Tomac, let's say for some reason his injury heals up, he comes back, like Tomac's not supposed to be that close to him?
No, you shouldn't be that close to him. Like, we've seen what happens when Tomac comes back after injuries. It takes him a while, dude. The last time he got injured in Supercross, what was it, 2018?
Do you think Chase is going to be close to him when he comes back?
It depends on how much time Chase is at on a bike. Kenny wasn't riding outdoors up until last week. Like, he even said that. And he also said, and I don't know if you saw this, he did an interview with Michael Lindsay. He had 2 days on that fork and shock.
Yeah, I know.
So, like, look, man, I'm giving Jet all the roses and the flowers for the way he rode yesterday. He persevered. I'm not bagging on Jet. But yesterday, he should have been able to gap Kenny, and Kenny should have, whether you're trying or not, Jet trying at 85%, Kenny should have never been that close to him.
What do you win the first moto by? Because I fell asleep. I watched half of it.
Well, remember, though, Kenny went down.
Yeah, I know.
So, like, when Kenny passed him, after Jet, and then when Jet passed him back, Kenny was in with, like, 1.5 seconds before he went down. So...
I don't know. I watched... So, like I said, the first moto I kind of dozed off through. Watched most of it, and then obviously watched the highlights a couple different times of it. But the second moto I watched, and
he caught Kenny, but Kenny didn't drop him, though.
To go from 11 seconds down to he won by, 8 or something? So that's a 20-second swing in 15 minutes.
But Kenny also is not... He's not riding outdoors. Like, you can tell he wasn't. So, like, I get what you're trying to say, and I don't necessarily disagree with it, but you also have to take off the Jet hat and put on the objective hat, or the objective hat, and look at it and go, he should have beat Kenny by more. Like, it doesn't matter how talented Kenny is. Kenny literally made a phone call to Larry Brooks on a Sunday or Saturday at Thunder Valley, like, hey, man, I want to go ride outdoors.
Yeah.
Rides the bike for 2 days on an outdoor track, maybe 3. Probably hadn't rode a 35-minute moto in who knows how long because he had been hurt after Supercross. And he's keeping Jet. And it doesn't matter that Jet maybe wasn't trying fully.
I guess. I don't know. I think, was it Ricky said it yesterday on the broadcast or something? I mean, he he said, he's like, dude, look, Jet doesn't go out there to dominate like we did. He's like, he goes out there and he does what he has to do to win.
No, but you also can't say that Jet wasn't trying yesterday because Jet made mistakes. That only happens from.
I feel like he was trying a little bit
that
more
only
that
happens
second
from
moto.
trying harder than you normally would. Like, you don't just make those kind of mistakes when you're Jet Lawrence without riding past what you're normally comfortable with. So that's why I say it's not a big chink. I'm not claiming that all of a sudden, oh my God, like Jet Lawrence is going to lose the title. But it's kind of what I said last year at Unadilla. It's a chink because he made mistakes yesterday, and everybody else did too, so it wasn't just him. But he made a mistake yesterday that he normally doesn't make. And the fact that he passed Kenny and Kenny straight up passed him back when Jet didn't make a mistake, like, when's the last time you've seen that? Like, that hasn't happened all year since he's been on the 450. So I'm just saying that proves to me that if Chase and Eli would have been there, they would have been giving him everything he can handle, and they would be beating him. Because, like I said, Kenny should have never been that close to him. Like, Ricky also made the comment that, or no, I think Weege brought it up, and Ricky basically expanded on it. Maybe Jet doesn't care about it, but you also have to think, like, hey, Jet wants to go out and beat everybody. Like, he wants to beat Chase. He's already beaten Dylan. He's already beaten Coop. He's already beaten Aaron. He hasn't raced Eli yet, and unfortunately, he's probably not going to get a chance to. He hadn't raced Kenny yet. He's going to race Kenny next year going into Supercross. Like, you want to prove to all these dudes that you can beat them. Mm-hmm. And I know that Kenny hasn't ridden outdoors. Like, he hadn't been training, but still, you don't think in Jet's mind that he wants to go prove a point that, like, hey, I can beat all you dudes.
Yeah.
So you can't sit there and go, if he's knowing how Kenny is, the sprint speed that he has, or like JT likes to say, fast twitch, he wasn't thinking, oh, I got to beat this dude. Like, he didn't just walk away from it the whole entire day. Like, Kenny was there and at every point yesterday until the end of that second moto. Once again, you don't know if it was cardio, doesn't know, whatever. So, no. All the flowers to Jet. He impressed the hell out of me yesterday more than he has up until this point. Because the second moto at Paul with Chase, that was impressive, but I also think, we've talked about this, the way the track was, it really fit Jet's style. Yesterday, I was more impressed with Jet than I had been in the previous 6 motos. But that proves to me that if Chase and Eli were there, that they'd be beating him, giving him everything he can handle, and then some. Because going in yesterday, there was no point in me thinking Kenny was going to be that close. I honestly thought that Kenny would have got dropped by like 30 seconds. So I'm like, why would Kenny be that close? Like, dude, we saw what he did last year. There were times where he was great. And then there were other times last year where he was non-fucking, like, he wasn't even a threat last year when he rode outdoors.
I guess, but we always see Ken come in really good at the beginning of seasons.
But on a Suzuki, on a bike that he hasn't ridden and not riding outdoors, like, dude, I don't care how talented you are. Like, at some point, talent doesn't matter when you've not ridden outdoor. Like, who knows the last time Kenny's even ridden an outdoor track up until this week?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought between the winning, how he did the week before there at Thunder Valley, which was dominating more or less.
But he dominated everybody. That's the thing, though. He dominated the people he's already been racing like he normally did.
But that's what I'm saying.
But Kenny Kenny hasn't been there.
So we talked about it the week before of you being like, well, he's not dominant like Chad or like Ricky and James were. Mm-hmm. And so I had actually come in with the question last week of like, okay, is this starting to change your mind because he won by 24 and then won by 7 or 8 in the slick rain, and then now looking at this of like, okay, he's obviously struggling the first half of the moto, figures out how to ride the bike, and then comes back from 11 seconds down. But
the first moto, though, he didn't make a fork change.
Because,
the first moto, the bike was the same. So that's what I'm saying, though. I think with Jet, you have to look at it on a week-by-week basis because this is new for him. This isn't an established 450 guy yet, even though he's Jet Lawrence. So I think for your rookie year, you have to look at a week-by-week basis. What is he doing? Because it's a new thing every week with him. Every week is a new challenge because he hasn't ridden these tracks, and everybody's be like, well, no, it's not. Every one of these tracks he's ridden 10 times over, but he's not ridden them on a 450.
Yeah.
So it's a new thing every week. So, yes, last week was dominant. Yesterday was not dominant, and he raced a guy that was not supposed to ride outdoors.
Yeah.
Like, fucking on a whim.
No, he was going to race outdoors.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Well,
and I also don't believe that we're going to see him again this year.
You don't think so?
No, because World Supercross starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but there's only one, isn't there, that crosses over, and it's the Redbud one.
No, July 22nd is the second round.
Oh, okay.
So you may see him at Unadilla.
I would say it wouldn't surprise me to see Kenny.
But we're
again,
not going to see him at Southwick.
No.
Why
no,
would you
we're
come
not-
back and
no,
do that to yourself?
No. We're not gonna see him at a lot of these.
You might see him at Unadilla because he likes to track, and I
Yeah.
think it lines up. So maybe you see him at another one, but like this talk of, well, we'll see. No, dude, you're going to see probably one more, and if it's going to be, it's going to be Unadilla because we all know that you fucking ripped there.
Yep.
Like I said, all the credit to Jet. He impressed me more yesterday for the resilience, and he persevered through his issues. But I'm just saying, there's a small thing there that shows me that if Chase and Eli were there, or even just Chase, Jet wouldn't be dominating. The fact that he dominated everybody else, that was normal. He'd been dominating them.
I will laugh when we get to the end of his career and he just does this his whole career of like he wins but not by a lot. He just manages leads. And I'll go, you remember back in his rookie year when he was winning by like 5 to 10 seconds, you were like, oh man, this guy he's fucking dominant. Now he's got however 18 fucking titles.
Well,
and
he's
hundreds
never
of
gonna
race wins.
he's never gonna be Ricky Carmichael though. That's the thing. He's never gonna be Ricky. He's never gonna be the GOAT. Because I've said this before, it's about competition. And everybody, and I saw the one comment that somebody made, they were like, well, who did Stu and Chad race? That's not the point. Ricky was racing them, so that invalidates the fact of who everybody else they were racing. Like K-Dub, Ferry, Ivan Tedesco, all these people that they were racing have all the same credentials that all these other people like AP, like Dylan, like Cooper Webb, all of them. They've all champions this and that. It's the fact that Chase is not racing a guy like a James Stewart, like a Chad Reed. So that's why I'm saying that even if Jet somehow does match those accomplishments, but even at 19, like it's going to be rough. It's going to be hard to do at 19 because he's going to have to start, like he's already doing it right now, but he's going to have to go on an insane win streak to match. Like you got to think, Ricky Carmichael has over 150 wins. He's got 15 titles. He has 2 undefeated seasons. I don't know how like his most wins ever in Supercross because we all know for him. My point is that even if he does go out and dominate, the best I can ever give Jet is the second best of all time. Because he's never raced a guy like Stu. He would have to race Eli, and we know that's not going to happen because that would be the closest thing you could find to an accomplished guy like a Chad Reed or a James Stewart.
Yeah.
And we all know that, let's be real, Eli Tomac's career is probably over with. So even if he races Chase for the next however many years, Chase is not as accomplished as James Stewart or Chad. So, like, it's unfair to Jet. That's not his fault. That's not his fault at all. It's just you have to look at the facts and go, Jet will never race a guy that is like a James Stewart or a Chad Reed. So that's why, in all respect to Ricky, as much as I don't like Ricky, Jet will never be the GOAT in my opinion. You can't reach it.
It really just depends. I mean, you got to figure we got 10 years.
But do you see
this?
But who's going to be a guy though that's ever going to match James Stewart?
Well,
and Chad?
I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not saying we'll see that because as of right now, we're not like there isn't anybody in the pipeline I see like that. So
No.
you have, in my opinion, you have people that can match like a Reed style.
Yeah.
Because you got Webb's 2-time champion,
But he doesn't have
Sexton's-
two outdoor. But he doesn't have an outdoor
Sexton's
championship. though.
1-1. Yeah, no, he doesn't. But you got that kind of stuff. But then you just got to look at.
And Hunter, let's be real. Even if somehow he goes and gets really good on a 450, which he's gonna,
Yeah.
he's too old at this point.
The
which is
way
ridiculous.
I'm looking at it is that like the only way you're able to put him in that conversation is if he, just dominates the record books as far as race wins goes.
I mean, you even have to look at the fact. Take out Stu. You have to look at the fact of even like what does he have to do to beat RV? He's got to win 4 straight Supercross championships and 2 outdoor championships in the process. Mm-hmm. So like even if you like take out Ricky for the fact because that's a long way down the road. Like he's got to even do a lot to pass RV's records.
Yeah.
So like
We're just getting started.
it's
here.
not fair to Jet, but I'm sorry, I will argue this, and I think the problem is that a lot of people that are Jet fans, and I'm not including you in this because you have an understanding of it, but a lot of these Jet fans weren't around for Ricky's days. Jet just can't ever be Ricky because Jet will never race a guy the competition that Ricky raced. That like I said, it's not fair to Jet. He has nothing. He can't control that. But it's just you have to look at facts, and he's never going to race a guy that is as dominant as what Stu did or what Chad did, and so on and so forth. So, and like I said, he's got to do a lot to even get to RV status, and that's a long ways away. Because when RV was winning those 4 Supercross championships, he was winning 12, 13 races. So
we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean,
Not saying he can't do it.
the funny thing is we're talking about this and we're like, he's 19.
Well, I mean, Stu went in a 450 at really young too. So
Yeah,
like,
but I'm just saying.
So did RV. So it's like the whole 19 thing. That's is what it is. Like when you're as good as Jet, that doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is we have a long ways to go.
Yeah, you do.
So-
And we still don't have any idea what it's like for him to race a whole entire season against a healthy Chase Sexton.
Yeah.
So like we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Stu was the one that pointed out last week, like his Jet's interview on the podium last week at Thunder Valley, and Stu went, "Uh-oh." Like, did you hear that?
No.
Dude, I mean, he gave that interview, and literally as soon as they gave that interview, like Stu and Weech came back on, and James goes, "Uh-oh, these boys are all screwed." And Weech is like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "That interview he just gave is the same style interview he gave on the podium in the 250 class when he didn't give a shit because he had everybody covered." He's like, if his mindset just changed like I think it just did, he knows he's got everybody covered, they're all screwed.
I think
Because
yesterday
they won't be
was-
able to touch it.
I think yesterday was a little bit of an eye opener for him though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
And I
We'll
just-
see. It's one of those things where they could, like, the track was just a fight for everybody, you know? And it doesn't surprise me that Kenny came out and did what he did
To me,
yesterday.
it does. It really does. I don't care how talented Kenny is. Like at some point, that doesn't matter anymore.
It wasn't fucking hot. It was super technical because of it being so deep and all that stuff. Like that track was purebred made for Kenny.
Well, it is for Jet 2, though.
Purebred made for Kenny.
It is for Jet 2, though.
It was, and that's why, like, watching him, dude, just watching him as calm as he is, like, you don't see that. He's riding his 5th year 450 in the first season.
Yeah.
As calm and relaxed as he is, because even as much as he was pushing it there to try to catch Kenny, dude, you couldn't tell.
Well, that's just style, though.
I know, but
Porcel did the same kind
I'm
of
just
shit.
saying it's impressive to watch.
It's very impressive, but it's it's not like we haven't seen that type of shit before.
Yeah.
Porcel would do the same thing back in the day. I'd watch
Yeah.
Porcel at nationals, and you'd watch him and be like, "Well, that's like 6th or 7th fastest," and then you go out to be 1.5 seconds faster in practice.
Well,
When you're that talented and you're that smooth, it's always going to look that way. So it's always hard to
Yeah,
differentiate between what's pushing and what's not.
everybody knew that Porcel was not great like Jet is. So
Well, Porcel also has he has two 250 championships. He has Supercross championships. Like he was good. He's not Jet, but he wasn't a slouch. So like
I mean, yeah, I didn't say he was a slouch, but he's not Jet.
he's just as smooth as Jet was.
There was not hype of like, oh, this guy is the next fucking GOAT. Like,
No, but that's not my point. My point is the technique. He's
Yeah.
just as smooth as Jet was.
Yeah.
If you ever watch Porcel,
I don't know. I came in at the tail end of Porcel, so like,
I just giving Jet credit, not knocking him. But yesterday, I think he had a realization that he can't just lay up all the time and win. And I think that if we do see Chase, which we probably won't, but if we do, I just don't think it's going to be that easy. And the fact that he beat everybody else by the way he did wasn't impressive because he's been doing that. So why would I be impressed by something he's already been doing? It's the fact of what he did with Kenny yesterday. I just don't think Kenny should have been that close. I just don't. I don't believe he should have been that close. For a guy that hadn't ridden in how long, I don't think he should have been within 2 seconds ever. Jet should have been able to drop him just like he did everybody else.
well, Kenny goes 7-2 for second,
And
which
the
is
seven
weird.
was
Yeah.
misleading. It should have been 2-2.
Yeah, and that was purely based on non-electric start.
Yeah, well, and also on a camber and a rut, and,
Yeah.
whatever. But I mean, hey, great ride for Kenny.
That
Good
was
for him.
super good for him coming
You know,
off the couch. So.
And it'd be really interesting to see had he rode outdoors. But I mean, that's just what Kenny kind of does sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's impressive. We know how good he is when he wants to be. But I mean, we'll see him probably one more time this year outdoors, and
Yeah.
So I don't. As cool as it was to see him, I don't really care about it because he's not going to ride outdoors, but one more time this year.
Gave us something to talk about
Yeah,
this
for sure.
weekend. So AC goes 4-4 for third. So he was way more impressive yesterday than what he's been. So hopefully the arm's getting better.
I like how now, though, that we went from never talking about his injury to now all of a sudden it's brought up at least once every broadcast.
That's all we talk about.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It just shows how stupid shit is in this sport sometimes.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I definitely though. I think it was Ricky. They're like, oh, when he was catching Kenny, like, oh, is he gonna make something happen? And I'm like, we'll give it a few laps and we'll see if he's.
And he did fade at the end there.
Yeah, and I'm
so.
like, I mean, hey, it's progression for AC. It's definitely better than almost getting beat by Grant Harlan. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dylan goes 6'3".
Caught Kenny that second moto.
Yep.
I don't know where the hell that came from. Because
Your boy is on a real weird season here.
Yeah, and I still don't believe that he's 100% yet. Like, he's even said it. The team said it. That bike is still... And now it's the second time that the greatest of all time, you had Stu say it, and then you had Ricky say it. They're like, that bike is way too low in the rear.
Yeah.
And that is something you don't want. And Ricky, he's the way this was a big talking point, and it happened at Thunder Valley with Stu and Ty Masterpool. But for somebody like Dylan that doesn't steer with the rear, like, I just don't understand. And maybe they're trying to counteract the weight of that Yamaha on the front. I think they need to make a bike change. Like, because he can say all he wants that the bike's handling good. You can clearly tell that bike is not.
No.
It's not. So I don't know if Dylan's just trying to not get on his team's bad side, but yeah, that second moto, like at the charge at the end, I'm like watching the live timing. I'm like, fuck, like he's catching Kenny.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's a timing glitch. And then he comes around and it's like 2 seconds. I'm like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something to build for him that he caught Kenny. I know he had to have been putting in some really good lap times at the end of that moto. I think that just means he's progressing, and I still believe that this week's going to be good for him to have 2 weeks off. So I think he comes out swinging at Redbud. I don't know what that looks like, but it's progression because Thunder Valley, he was really good, but just a lot of stupid mistakes. Yesterday, I think, is the best he's ridden all year so far. Because even the first moto, like, wasn't an indicator of how well he was riding because he got a terrible start, worked his way through. But yeah, the second moto was a little bit more Dylan-esque to make that charge at the end of that moto like he did. So
he's on struggle street here, though, man.
Oh,
this
yeah.
has not been a good year for him.
No, and we said this, like, if he's 100%, he'll be fine. If he's not, it's going to be up and down, and he's not 100%.
Yep.
All
right, so Cooper Webb goes 3.6 for 5th. Okay. I don't have... I mean, we didn't get to see much of it. There wasn't anything. He still doesn't think he's 100%, and I think he still kind of believes that when he does get to that point, he's going to be able to challenge Jet.
I don't know why he'd believe that.
I don't think that. Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's the only one who thinks that, but okay. Whatever you say, Coop, man. Like, I mean, I don't know. He's out there getting points. He's leading the SuperMotocross points.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Yeah, I still
who gives a shit?
Yeah, I still believe that if you had Chase in there, if you had Eli, if you had Barsha, if you had Ando, Christian Craig, like Coop would be just like probably an 8 to 10 guy.
Yep. So Marchbanks goes 2.8.
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
Both motos actually
got starts, which is something he doesn't fucking do.
No.
And then I felt bad from the second moto because he was up there. And then he pulled into the pits because he had a phantom bog, is what they said.
Yeah, I heard that. He had a nice little battle with Jet there for a minute. So, I mean, it's just, like, why the fuck was he on a 250 for the first 2 rounds?
Because Club wants to make that 250 deal a deal.
Whatever. So, I mean, dude, I don't know. They were good in Supercross. That should have been good enough for them.
The outdoor bike was shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, J-Mart
was
proved that.
Not pumped.
Yeah,
at all.
and Marchbanks, like we've said this from the beginning. Why the fuck is he on it? Why was he on a 250? And
he lost 15 pounds. Bro.
I don't believe that he wanted to ever be on that bike. After the way he rode last year on that 450, there's no part of me that believes that shit.
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe they're trying to lure in a new manufacturer too.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know who they're trying to go with, but maybe they're trying to go that route.
I will say this though, that outside of Dylan, if Marchbanks keeps that confidence up, fucking AP and Coop are gonna have to really start worrying about him because he was impressive yesterday. Mm-hmm. If Dylan is on the trajectory that I think he's on, that's different. But everybody else, like Cooper, AC, Webb, or Cooper, AC, and AP. Dude, if Marchbanks rides like that for the rest of the year, like he's going to be the third best guy. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, good for Club, but it kind of shows you that they fucking kicked themselves in the ass of not having on a 450 right away.
Basically.
Because I think he'd be probably floating around like third in the points right now.
Mm-hmm. Ty Masterpool goes 5.7 for 7th.
I mean...
It wasn't Thunder Valley good.
No, so...
Which we all kind of expected.
So here's the thing, and I would have brought this up if I'd have been onto the Thunder Valley show. So we all knew this was going to be the summer of privateers. We were going to see a lot of people that you wouldn't normally see. You know, you'd be hearing a lot of names that you probably have never heard of. Well, like the average fan would have never heard of. You know, Jerry Robin had a good start to the season. Grant Harlan's been really good. Ty Masterpool has just fucking shot everybody in the arm to show how talented the kid is.
Ty Masterpool does this stuff.
Everybody got real
hyped about this last week, and I just kind of was like, that was great, but like, this is what he does.
He's an outdoor guy.
He'll come out.
Oh, he's gonna be really good at Redbud. He's gonna be real good at fucking Redbud.
I was actually hoping his day was gonna go a little worse yesterday, so I could get him at Redbud.
I'm here to tell you,
not whatever.
Like, I'm here to tell you, if he rips the whole shot at Redbud and just leads for like 20 minutes, I'm gonna look at you and go, yep, that doesn't fucking surprise me.
That's Ty Masterpool.
Like, he is gonna be on one at Redbud,
100%.
like real fucking on one. He ain't gonna beat Jet. But I'm here to tell you, if that kid rips a whole shot, he's going to make Jet's day a lot harder than Jet thought it was going to be, because that fucking kid is good at Redbud.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be interesting to watch him in practice, too. But where I was going with, and this is actually a question for you, with all that being said, Jeremy Hand, I seen that he was there yesterday. I know he's at Thunder Valley. All these other privateers. We don't know what it would look like had everybody been there. And I mean by the rest of the fucking factory group. I think Ty Masterpool would still be doing this. Grant Harlan would be up there, but some of these other guys, like Jerry Robin, probably not so much. Lacurcio, Boutron, whatever. But does this kind of what I've always been harping on, that it's gotten to the point that a lot of these factory dudes are so solely focused on Supercross? I think we finally got to the point, at least stateside, that the privateers outdoors at least, have finally, because they pay more attention to outdoors.
Oh, I went on a rant about this last week.
They're catching up to some of these because I fully believe Barsha. No, Barsha. I think Barsha right now would be the second best guy if he was there. If he was a healthy Barsha with the way he rode in Supercross.
Yeah.
But like a Jason Anderson, like a Christian Craig, like a Malcolm
Grant
Stewart.
Harlan's battling with these guys.
And Ty Masterpool is beating these guys.
I went on a rant about this last week of like
they're catching up.
It's so ridiculous that we don't have separate contracts for the indoors and the outdoors.
They're catching up to these factory guys, at least on the outdoor side of things, and that really shows that like
tell me how much it costs to have two more guys on payroll who are outdoor specialists.
Isn't it Stu that said this at Thunder Valley? He goes, yeah, if everybody was there, this still would be happening, because it's not like AC wouldn't be beating a lot of those factory dudes.
Yeah.
It's not like AP wouldn't be beating a lot of these factory dudes. So I think we've finally gotten to the point that, like, outdoors, it doesn't really matter what your bike's like. You're on a factory team anymore. It just shows that these privateers are getting to the point that they're just as good as the rest of these factory dudes. And I think that's fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm so pumped for these dudes, but it's fucking ridiculous that we've gotten to the point that, like, the privateers are beating these factory dudes, and they're just beating them outright because they're faster than them. So I get it. Some of these factory dudes don't really care about outdoors. It's about Supercross, but still, man, you shouldn't be getting beat by a kid that's basically on a stock 450. You just shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should not. And honestly, you probably should look yourself in the mirror and be a little ashamed of yourself. You're on a fucking bike that costs $60,000 more. You get to ride and train anytime you want to and not have to worry about a damn thing. And you're getting beat by kids that probably are riding one day a week and are lucky to even make it there.
There isn't time for them to do that, okay? They got to focus on Supercross until 2 weeks before, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we got to do outdoors. And you can't put them on an outdoor, like a true outdoor setup, because you do that, and they're going to freak out because it's so soft.
Yeah.
So you just can't do it. There needs to be a separation. And this is one of those things, I think, going into the future here, you're going to start to see this. So I think as this World Supercross builds here, and guys start getting incentivized to go over there, so now you're just riding Supercross and Supercross, but they still want to have these dudes for the SuperMotocross. Well, all of a sudden you're going to see, and again, this is my TLR tinfoil hat here, you're going to see like, okay, now we're going to have motocross specialists. But you can't have Grant Harlan come in, ride for factory Yamaha, and score 50 fucking points a weekend because he's winning, and then fucking put 400 extra points on the board above these factory guys that race Supercross to then come in and do the SuperMotocross thing and have your champion from Supercross be 19th in points.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. So what they're going to have to do is, instead of paying points per moto, they're going to have to score the motos and then just pay single race points. Otherwise, this is going to get way out of control, which it already has.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at someone like Kev, who's coming up here, who got him 15 out of 17 mains or something,
Something like that.
with a high finish of 7th, and fucking he's in 20th. Because why? Because these
and
guys.
who knows if like somebody like Starling's even going to make
the
whole thing.
Well, and even Harlan, Harlan's been killing it, but now he's got to go away and do the World Supercross thing. So like, what happens? It's like it doesn't work. But like, they're not thinking. When they did it, they didn't think about it. And I heard this on Pulp, and I laughed about it. Because they were like, look, everybody, all these guys think there's these grand conspiracies or whatever. When in reality, it's just no one knows what they're doing. Which I'm like, okay, well, that explains a lot too. Because, I mean, it does. Look at this. We come up with this half-baked SuperMotocross idea, okay? Which is fine, cool, no problem. You want to have a few race playoff run at the end and pay these guys a whole bunch of money. I'm totally cool with that. But you don't flush out the rules before you do it. You're just like, oh, we're going to do it. And then it's like, and like, don't get me wrong, you can do that with things. I do it all the time, okay? It's like, I'll book a job and figure out how the hell I'm going to handle it after that. But I'm not in the public spotlight, and I don't have people.
You're also not making millions and millions.
I was going to say,
dollars.
I don't have people relying on me. Like, guys aren't coming in going, okay, how do I qualify for this? And you don't have a fucking clue. I mean, dude, they already fucking had to go back and figure out what they were going to do with the West Coast Supercross because they had 9 rounds compared to 8 for what's it called.
Yeah.
And I still don't know how the hell they handled that, but apparently it's handled now. So it's like what's going to have to happen is Outdoors is going to have to go to paying 26 points total for the win, not 50. They're going to have to pay 26 just like a Supercross round. Otherwise this isn't going to work. Because you're going to get a bunch of dudes that are going to get screwed out here of these SMX rounds because they didn't want to go spend money to ride outdoors, or they were getting paid to go ride the WSX stuff and couldn't ride the out. Like you're going to have to do that. Like I'll be interested to talk to Kevin and be like, dude, are you going to do any outdoors? Because honestly, you should have been riding these first 4 here to get as many points as he could, as long as he was riding, and like go from there, because now he's in trouble of like being in the top 30 essentially.
Well, and this also too is something that we always talk about. Like it just shows how ridiculous it is that, kind of what you said about the like people getting help from some of these teams, that some of the guys in the privateers, at least in the 450 class, because there's so many more 250 teams. Some of these guys like a Kev, like if a Justin Starling, I can't really think of some of the other guys that were in that range for Supercross, because most of them are either going to be riding World Supercross or already are riding outdoors. The fact that they're not getting help to go ride out. Like, I know that Grant Harlan's on the Man Luck team and all that shit, but it just shows how ridiculous it is that guys that are getting top 20 in Supercross can't figure out a way to make it to outdoors.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to get to the point that if you're doing well enough, you should be getting help to go to outdoors, because it still looks really fucking stupid when a guy like Kev, whose best finish is a 7th, whether it was in the mud or not, was basically a perennial top 15 guy towards the end of the season, can't find support to go ride outdoors. You're never going to be able to bill that this is the premier series when half of your 10 to 20th place guys in the 450s can't even fucking show up for both series. Like,
why? Because,
I understand why Starling,
they don't get paid enough.
And that's my point. That is what's the ridiculous part of it. I understand why some of these guys don't want to ride outdoors.
Starling's going to fucking Brazil to ride.
And that's the thing is, you're never going to be able to tell me that it's the premier series, and like Ricky said a few times yesterday on the broadcast, which is whatever, like, that a guy who at the end of Supercross was basically an 8 to 12 guy can't figure out a way to make it outdoors. You have to have all your guys that are top guys riding both fucking series. And I've said this before, I understand why some guys don't want to ride outdoors, but it's like, dude, suck it up. You're a fucking professional athlete. You get paid millions of dollars to ride a goddamn dirt bike for a living. You know how much all of us would fucking love to be saying, yeah, we got to struggle to ride a dirt bike for a living. Like, sack up, shut up. Like, I'm sick and tired of everybody like bitching, oh my God, my career would be longer if I just... Look, I get it. The money thing is the biggest thing. You're a professional athlete. Suck it up. Like, you get paid a lot of money to ride a dirt bike for a living. You could be fucking doing construction for the rest of your life. I don't want to hear. I feel bad for the privateers that aren't getting paid money, but I don't feel bad for the factory guys that whine and moan that they don't want to ride outdoors. Like, get over it, dude.
If you're making $300K a year, you're doing just fine.
Yeah. Sack up, ride outdoors. Oh, my God. It's a little hard to get a fucking hangnail. It's 95 degrees out. Everybody before you did it. The greatest of all time did it. The second best of all time, the third. They all did it. So quit crying about it. Like I'm at the point that I'm sick and tired of hearing about it.
Yeah, there's no budget for it. They're gonna they need to go.
And that's what's wrong with our sport. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, but in today's day and age, they're just the infrastructure at these tracks. Like these facilities should be built out much like a NASCAR facility. Like if you're gonna do like number one, and I've talked about this before, the series should not be 11 or 12 rounds long. There's zero reason for us to go to Paula. Hangtown, okay, but that, again, needs a whole lot of work. And then the rest of these facilities, too, they all need a whole lot of work. These should be literally world-class racing
there
facilities.
There are some tracks that they're only because they've been there for a long time. They keep going back. Like,
yes.
I'll say this, say what you want. I think it's ridiculous that Glen Helen is not on the series because Glen Helen has been there for so long.
Yeah.
You know, you got places like Southwick, Redbud, Millville, Washougal, Unadilla, Budds Creek. Ironman's debatable. I wish we could have gone back to Steel City, but that's a different thing. Or just get to the point they're like, hey, we're just going to go here twice in 2 weeks. We're going to fucking go to Redbud. We're going to do Redbud 2 times a year. Or
yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. The problem you run into with outdoors as to why this isn't a thing is because track locations and infrastructure. If we went to Redbud and there was infrastructure like there is at Daytona, okay, so there's suites, there is there's paved parking, there's bathroom facilities, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. Like, if you had all of that going on, good cell service, all of this going on, all of a sudden, it's a lot more doable for people to drive out to the middle of nowhere to do that.
But then it's not really outdoors anymore, though.
But when you don't have... But that's what I'm saying. Like, people...
You'd have to have an injection of money, and that's a fail on our promoters. To not bringing in bigger sponsorship.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, this is what drags down these facilities in the outdoor series 100%. I mean, think about it. When you go to Unadilla, you fly in somewhere,
I've been
and then you got to drive 2 hours to the track, and there isn't infrastructure around the track. Like there isn't hotels and shit around the track.
Bro, trust me, I got lost when I drove.
Yeah,
there.
like that's way in the middle of nowhere. So now you got to drive way in the middle of nowhere. If you didn't know that
there was a track there, like you'd be driving by and you'd pass it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, then you get there and there isn't infrastructure. There's not bathroom facilities. There's not fucking Wi-Fi. There's not cell service.
The pits are all gravel.
Pits are all gravel and stuff. Like all of this is what stacks up to make this not a thing. Because they've talked about it. They've been talking about it recently on Pulp too. Okay, wash base. All right,
like GPs.
Yeah, because let's face it, you walk through the pits and they just wash the bikes wherever. Okay, great, cool. Except for now, it's a mud mess. I mean, Lewis Phillips is over here going, "What the fuck is happening?" As he's walking through in his Jordans, and he's like, "Where do I even walk?" Because of this mess. Because he doesn't have that in the GPs. So what I'm saying is, if we want the core thing of the outdoor series to grow and flourish here, okay, then you're going to have to dump money into the facilities or get the track people to dump money into the facilities, which you're going to have a hard time doing with some of these that aren't making money like we know.
You have to have an injection of money.
Yeah, you're going to have to have an injection or whatever and like get stuff put together and make it a facility, not just a dirt track in the middle of nowhere.
Which is why I laugh, because people always like to talk shit about the way the GPs are. And yeah, there's some places like we tried with Assen. That was fucking stupid.
The GPs are a whole different thing because their financial situation's a whole nother thing.
Well, yeah, there's no main sponsors or whatever. But the funny thing is that we talk about this, but the way they run their series, not the money part, the way the facilities are structured.
Well, no, but the money part's so different because they're pulling in money from literally governments to have the races at play. I mean, look at that.
Well,
what was it, the second round or the third round this year where it was on that island in Italy?
Oh, yeah.
Which everybody's like, yeah, this is a great practice track. And if you watch the race, you're like, there's 5 fucking people here. How are they having a GP
well,
here?
It's also like when you're going to the Indonesia round coming up and shit. Like,
yeah.
Dude.
Like, that's sponsored by Indonesian government
and it's crazy
for travel.
Too. And they've talked about this when some of the top guys are when they're trying to get to wherever they're staying.
Yeah.
They get mauled by fans because of like how such a big deal it is for them to have something like that there.
Yeah.
So my point with that is like not the money part, but everybody likes to joke on like how the GPs in some of these places, but it's like, dude, the money's a big thing, but the facilities, some of them are shit just because they're in very small countries. But like, dude, when you go to Aguadia, which is like the Argentina round, where it's in the hills and the dirt, like that river, like, dude, that is some of the. Or anytime they go to the Switzerland rounds, or when they were just in what the hell was it? I forgot the name of it. But like when they're in the mountains and stuff, and you look up, like, dude, it's 10 times better than what we have over here.
Picturesque, and it's awesome. But again, too, they're on the same path of like you need to. Well, theirs doesn't qualify for that because they don't have to make money off fans.
Yeah,
and stuff.
they've proven that they can have 5 people at their races and they're still
and they
so
don't
like
care.
the GPs are never.
So they don't
going
have to
away.
do that. But over here, with the way the economics work over here, they're gonna have to infuse money and make these tracks worth going to.
And
otherwise,
it's a fail on the promoters' part that that's their job to do that.
Otherwise, I think we continue to see this decline of stuff because it's like, dude.
But I will say though, the super motocross thing though, you're still going to see the top talent there. You're just not going to see a lot of other people there because it's going to get to the point that like privateers just aren't going to be able to go.
I'm interested with the super motocross thing to see what happens year 2.
Well, we're going to see.
It's like the WSX thing. Like, what's really going to happen there? Because yes, there's money right now. Is that going to continue or so? I'm interested. Let's get through these 450s here though, because we got Kev coming up. So AP goes 8.5 for 8th, and his bad luck streak just continues. Like, can't stay on 2 wheels. Like, he's the second fastest dude in this series at this point, and he can't do it.
Yeah. We're gonna see what happens when we go now with Redbud coming up, and then you're gonna go to the Wick. You're gonna start going to some of the little more fast-paced tracks. If that's gonna help him, and I think that he kind of what we've been talking about with everybody else. Like, I think his chassis setup's a little bit off for right now, and we'll see where he can go to some of these other. Start breathing a little bit more instead of having to be in a little bit because like, dude, the first 4 rounds you had to have been so technical.
Yeah,
and obviously AP he's a technical guy, but I think some of his crashes have just been based on him maybe not connecting the track that well and just kind of putting himself in bad situations. So it wouldn't shock me if we get to Redbud and like he has his best ride.
Yeah. Grant Harlan goes 11.9 for 9th. That's okay. Derek Drake goes 9.12 for 10th. All right. Romaine Pope goes 10.13 for 11th. That's how you say his name, by the way. Pope. Interesting. Learned that last week. Frederick Noren goes 14.10 for 12th.
I honestly thought he'd be a lot better.
He's not happy.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's the bike or what, but he's not pumped at where he's been finishing.
Man, you could still be on that Mad Parts team.
Yeah.
So
whatever. Let's see here. Speaking of teams, did you hear Butler Brothers is back?
Yeah, they've been going with they were with Caden Amarine and
Caden Amarine already quit that team.
Oh, I know. And who was the other one?
I don't remember.
There was another 450.
Tristan Lane.
Tristan Lane. Yeah, and he wasn't there this weekend either. It was Tristan Lane, you're right, because they're on Cowies.
No, maybe Lane quit the team and Amarine didn't.
I don't think either of them were there.
It's interesting already.
Well, if they're not on the results, they weren't there because they would have qualified.
Yeah. So Lorenzo Lacrucio goes 13-11 for 13th.
I think that team, him and Boutron, are going to be out of the series here pretty quickly because they don't have the money to keep going.
Wildcat Racing.
Well, they're a GP team.
There's some announcements coming.
Oh, really?
That have to do with a Schmeef Schmathis.
Whatever.
Look, the money they need to go isn't a whole lot. I thought about sponsoring the team too.
That was the biggest thing.
Wildcat Racing. Wow.
I mean, it's a GP team.
Catch the fever.
Whatever.
They want to keep going, but they're just out of money.
Well, and I mean, they've done well. I mean, yesterday was a little bit of a struggle bus for them.
The last
they
2
did
weeks
well,
haven't been great for them.
Curcio was good at Thunder Valley, but it wasn't as good as the first 2 rounds. Well, and also, too, Boutron, he's never raced in America, so I don't really expect him to...
He's 45 years old. I mean, there's a lot going for him here.
Yeah, he's been pro since like the mid-2000s.
Jeremy Hand, 15-14 for 14th.
He's going to be good now that we're on the East Coast. So
Phil Nicoletti, 12-21 for 15th.
Barely made it in.
How many pissed off Phil things do you think happened yesterday? I can't wait to hear
Probably the
about
whole
it.
day. He probably just wasn't pumped to even just ride that track.
No. Brandon Ray, 18-16 for 16th. Max Miller, 22-15 for 17. Cade Amarine.
So okay.
He was there.
So it was had to have been Tristan Lane.
Yeah, Tristan quit already. 16-40 for 18th. Jerry Robin goes DNF 17 for 19.
A little bit more like Jerry Robin.
Yep. And Trevor Schmidt goes 17-22 for 20th. Let's see here.
Messi had a rough day.
Prebula goes 1936 for 23, which is strange because his bike was blowing up.
He's even lucky to even be riding.
Yeah. Let's see here. Who else we got? Jeff Walker 28-30 for 32.
Barely made it in.
Jace Kessler, who's coming up here, goes 30-32 for 34th overall.
Fortunately, I didn't notice much of Jace yesterday.
Yep. And that's pretty...
Messi had a rough day, too.
Yes. Where is he at on here? Messi goes 31-25 for 29th.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutter Worx. Make sure to check them out. Gutter Worx gutters, always well hung. Just like Justin Barsha.
Speaking of one last thing on Barsha, did you see that he re-injured?
Yeah, fucked, bro.
Jesus, dude. We might not see him at all out this outdoors.
Maybe not. I don't know.
We might not see him until World Supercross.
Yeah, he's you mean till SMX stuff?
Well, sorry, SMX, whatever. Fucking all these stupid names.
Get your shit right.
Whatever, man. All these stupid fucking names.
Unbelievable.
I don't even care anymore, dude. It's all fucking dumb. The names are stupid. The promoters are fucking morons. Told you I was in the mood today.
You all right over there? Like,
I'm good.
You seem upset. So
no, I'm just whatever.
Okay. I don't want to get started on 250s yet because, like I said, Kev's supposed to come.
No, there's a lot to dive into with the 250s. So
yeah, 250 class should be interesting here. Let's see.
Who's
Man, there was something I just thought about that I was going to ask you about. Now I can't freaking remember.
I think we're going to find out here soon if it's still a thing that some GP guys are coming over for Southwick.
I have heard that that's a thing.
Yeah. Names haven't really been released, but there's a lot of guys that are wanting to come over.
Let's see.
And surprisingly, usually it's only 450 guys. There's some 250 guys that are trying to, whether it happens, who knows. It would be interesting, though, if we saw the Coonan brothers come over with...
yeah.
Tell you what, Lucas Coonan would... I'd like to see him come over a little bit early before 2025.
Dude, him...
God, dude, he had such bad luck at the last round, too.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yarding Everts. And just bike just fucking goes.
Yep.
Just let's go.
And that whole...
he was
standing there
pissed.
just screaming at the sign.
Here's the thing. I love Kai de Wolf, but Lucas Coonan has proved the last couple weekends that he's the fastest dude in that class when he gets a start.
100%.
And he's 16.
100%.
Dude, Lucas Myrtle just keeps
signing him.
Because he's, dude, Sasha's got some work to do, but he's been hurt. But Lucas, Myrtle had hit the gold mine with that one. Because I'll tell you what, I think he's going to come over and he's going to be aces real quick. Like he's got that. Oh boy,
here we go. Let's just start this. So this is like what is it? Who was the kid there? Tom
Vial?
No, what was the other
Covington?
one? Yes.
Covington and Lucas Coonan aren't the same people.
Oh,
Lucas Coonan,
man,
16.
bro, you're fired up about him, so that means they're the same people here.
Did Jet Lawrence and Hunter Lawrence not have the same hype when they came over and they were nobodies?
You get real pumped. You did not say nothing about Jet. I
talked about Hunter.
You were gargling.
I gotta ask you a question.
You gargled Hunter hard.
I gotta ask you a question. Was I wrong?
Oh boy.
Was I wrong about him?
He came around, but it took years.
Did Jet have the hype when he came over? No.
Oh man. No, no.
And Lucas Coonan doesn't have any hype. He has hype over there. He's not hyped over here. So I'm saying that Lucas, when he comes over...
I don't think everybody knows that he's... I think us in the know do, but I don't think everybody knows.
Nobody knew Jet was coming over here. Jet wasn't supposed to come over here.
Jet didn't have hype.
And that's what I mean.
Jet didn't have hype coming over.
Jet was a fucking nobody.
Everybody was just like, well, Hunter's brother's also coming, so...
Yeah. So my point is that it's not the same thing as Thomas Covington. Thomas Covington was older. He'd already raced. He'd lived here in America. Lucas... has got that same little bit of, I'm like a Hunter Jet because I had a really good early EMX career. I was good on the 250. I had some decent rides in the MX2, and he's going to come over young enough where he can still learn Supercross. He's going to be 18 when he comes over here and wants to ride Supercross. So him and his brother, they're mirroring a lot of what Jet and Hunter did when they come over. They're not coming
until 25, right?
Yeah, 2025, because they want another year, because I think a lot of people think that Lucas is probably going to win the MX2 title next year.
The team made that happen, because the team said, look, you can have him, but we get 2 years with him, because we're not going to develop him here over the next year and then send him off without reaping any of these benefits.
I don't blame him. But my point is they're kind of on the same track of, and who knows, Sasha might actually end up being like Jet, because Sasha's like the slower one out of the two, and Lucas gets all the hype. So I'm letting everybody know ahead of time, if they do come over, which they are, this could be a little bit of a Jet Hunter thing where they just kind of come in, slowly build, and in the next couple of years, they like all of a sudden they're winning championships all the time because they have that little bit of a feel to it. So,
all right,
because they were not supposed to be this good already.
Yeah.
And nobody thought, obviously, fucking Jet and Hunter grew up racing in Australia. Mm-hmm. So, like, they weren't supposed to be this good. So, there's just a lot of similarities, except the only difference is that Lucas is not that much. Him and Sasha are the same age, whereas Hunter is obviously 3 years older.
Yeah.
Or no, 4 years older now.
So, who you got winning that MX2 title over there?
That fucking thing's up in the air because Garrett's is too fucked up. Kaida Wolf is riding with a broken ankle. Mm-hmm. It's either going to be a Dymo or Benestant because I think Kaida Wolf's ankle he's going to keep trying to ride, and Garrett's is going to come back, but he's too far down. Langenfelder's out. It's probably going to be either a Dymo or Benestant, and I would probably lean towards Benestant.
And Prado just runs away with that. What's it called? Right?
Well, yeah, because he keeps getting starts in the qualifiers and banking 10 points all the time, but then he gets to the motos, and frickin' Hurlings was either whooping his ass, or Fevra's faster than him, or, Ruben Fernandez has beat him. Like, dude, Prado is finally doing what Prado should have been doing years ago when he moved to the 450 class, but he's also definitely... This whole qualifying thing has definitely gone in his direction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, Renault has been out for a while now. Sewer's finally kind of getting his shit together. But, yeah, it's definitely going to be Prado. He's too far up. He's way too far up, which, I mean, I'm happy for the kid. Like, he should have been winning titles years ago when he moved up. But I just don't like the fact that he's only winning because he keeps winning these qualifiers.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't won a second moto at all this year. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if he's gotten but one overall yet. It's just because he's either won the qualifier or won the first moto and then got stomped the second moto.
Yeah. We'll see.
Don't get me wrong. He's good. He's clearly good. Like, he's very, very good. But I don't like that he's going to win the title on the count of that the changes.
They give out too many points for those. It should be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, exactly. Like 10, 9, 8. It's too much.
Yeah, it's way too much. But maybe they'll adjust it. So I'll tell you what. We're just going to do 250s here until Kev texts me because he's... I don't know, whatever. Anyway, all right, so 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. Make sure to check them out for all of your motorcycle, dirt bike graphics needs.
Get it done.
I got to get some of those coming. Our buddy over there, Eric Grondal.
Is he racing Redbud?
No.
Oh.
Big mountain bike guy now. Told me he's only rode like 5 times this year.
Is he going to ride Eddie National this year?
No.
Not even Southwick?
No.
Really?
I hit him up and asked.
Oh,
no.
weird.
Big mountain bike guy is what he told me.
Well, I mean, whatever. Good for him.
So,
him.
yeah.
Got to do something, man.
That was interesting. I was like,
something.
huh, okay.
Well, less chance of getting hurt, so.
All right, so Hunter Lawrence goes 3-1.
That he's pretty much done all year.
For first overall and got penalized.
Yeah, I seen that. Still ended up getting the overall.
Did you
got docked to what, 5 points?
7.
7.
Did you hear what his response was?
No.
They go in the press conference. They go, so what do you think about the penalty? It sucks.
So I don't remember this, and maybe the camera. What the fuck was that?
I haven't seen
Clearly
it.
the camera. I don't think the camera didn't catch it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
jumping on the red cross flag. 7
They say if
points.
it was the first or second moto.
I don't remember.
Okay,
I didn't
because I saw that this morning when I got on the internet. When I got on this morning, and I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, and then actually I just saw this here. So Justin Cooper goes down in qualifying there, doesn't ride.
Such a bummer.
My chest and neck got crushed by the handlebars, and my throat was starting to close up in the Alpine Stars medical unit. And I was immediately transported to the nearest hospital. I spent the night there. I'm headed back to Florida now to start my recovery. On his, just so you see this here, private jet, by the way.
Yeah. So what are we thinking? He's going to be back at Redbud? Probably not.
Oh, man, look at his throat there.
Yeah, dude, I took a handlebar literally right to it.
Wow.
I think he took it dead center.
And I didn't think it looked that bad. Yeah, man, that's across like the throat and the chest there. That's gnarly, dude.
I bet he doesn't come back at Redbud then.
No.
Because he's probably going to have breathing issues for a while.
Dude, I bet we don't see him.
Such a bummer.
So,
because that 250 class like that, he was the only person who was making it.
Here's what I got to say to this. This is a perfect example of a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. the two in the bush being that motocross title that he had to go train for, and this is what he signed for, and the bird in the hand being that he should have just kept pressing to ride 450 Supercross, because he rides 450 Supercross, sweet. He's good. He's definitely getting some decent deals sent his way for next year. Now,
I think he still ends up on that Star 450 ride. I just think his money
too.
goes down a little bit.
Dude, here's the super interesting thing about all of this with the Star situation. Tomac has the option to come back.
He's not coming back. We all know
maybe, maybe not. That's up in the air. I'm going 50-50 on that, okay? Right now I'm going 50-50. We'll see. Webb is supposedly going there.
Which
okay.
I think that's...
So there's two big money guys.
Dylan's, I think, gone. I don't know where Dylan's
I've heard
going.
he's still talking to them.
I think he goes to Gas.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I haven't heard anything about him outside of staying at Star.
I think that whole deal's getting a little sour.
Which is interesting.
It is interesting.
And now you're bumping Cooper there. So you're going to go run 450 guys? You're going to be the 250. You're going to be the 250 style team of the 450s.
I think I still think it ultimately comes down to you only end up having two 450 guys. I think it ends up being Webb and Coop, Jay Coop.
Dude, I'll tell you what though.
I don't think Tomac's coming back, and I just don't think Dylan's gonna be on that team. I think that it's gone sour. Don't know why. Is that Kev?
No, it's Jace.
Oh, what's up?
He wants to come on right now.
Oh, all right. Well, then we'll
pause the 250 race recap.
Yeah, because we got a lot to talk about with that whole thing. So,
all right, let's plug this in here. Let's FaceTime audio him here. Bro, you just text me. If you don't pick up this fucking phone, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
He's not picking up the phone.
I'm going to lose my shit.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Yo, Jace Kessler, welcome to the Moto Aftermath Show, bud. How are you tonight?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, bud. We appreciate you coming on here. Great start to the season here, man. You've been doing pretty well here. So, I mean, Fox Raceway 21st, Hangtown 18th, Thunder Valley. We just won't talk about that. And obviously, yesterday there was some things. But man, just like walk us through yesterday there at High Point, like how that was for you.
Yeah, yesterday was tough. It was tough for sure, man. The track was brutal. It was muddy and it was treacherous for sure. Them ruts were crazy, and the track was weird too because it was like super sloppy on top, and then the bases was just super hard. So it made it difficult to ride too for sure. And I've kind of always struggled in that a little bit more. So it was tough, and honestly, it would have been a pretty decent day. I qualified pretty well actually. I think I was P20 overall going into the motos, which was good for me because I'm not typically a qualifier. Usually I don't qualify the best. It's hard for me to run those one laps. So started off pretty good, and then first moto had a couple of issues really. First moto I went down, guy fell right in front of me and was trying to avoid him, and I ended up washing my front end out, and this was going up the face of one of the jumps coming out of the corners, and my bike ended up sliding down the hill and got caught up in the banners and stuff. So first moto, I was like dead last and like on like the 5th or 6th lap. And I think the next dude in front of me was like 20 or 30 seconds up. So it was really hard to make, much of a comeback on that. And, it was just a struggle. It seemed like all day. It was hard to find a flow. I wasn't riding, the greatest, but, it's, it's, you live and learn. It's, what happens, you're going to have those rounds that aren't the best, but, just a couple of issues in there really.
I will not lie to you. That track looked like ass yesterday. So,
honestly, it wasn't even fun to ride. It was just so gnarly, man. It was brutal. And I feel like they could have did definitely a hell of a lot better on the track prep because after qualifying, I feel like if they would have went through there and re-tilled up the track, I think it would have been pretty damn good. But I get it. They got to keep it gnarly and for us, but I feel like the dirt itself would have been honestly pretty good if they would have went through and redid everything.
Yeah. Now your deal here for this year, you're basically doing this all yourself out of a pickup truck essentially, aren't you? It's just you and a buddy just kind of driving around doing these rounds.
Yeah, that's the thing. We took my for the first 3 at least. We were out of my pickup. Yeah, just me and my buddy. He's not even a real mechanic, but he's pretty much my best friend, and he's helping me out for these rounds, and on the full tour with me. So yeah, we took the pickup out west, and now back east we have my box van back for those. So that's a little bit better, but yeah, pretty much just running my own program and making it happen.
Are you getting flashbacks? What was it,
2021
vibes here when you were doing it yourself out of the box van?
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially the first 2 rounds were honestly amazing to start off. Those were really good, and then these last 2 I've just been a little tough. Colorado wasn't even necessarily me. I just had multiple bike problems. First moto, my brake got wrapped around my foot peg, and second moto my bike blew up, so just a couple problems there, and then High Point wasn't the best yesterday, but Paula and Hangtown were great to start off, so I was getting more of those vibes, and just need to keep that up. Especially Hangtown was amazing, being up in that top 10 again, running for quite a while, and honestly I think I could have kept it there for a top 10 finish. That first moto I ended up going down at I think right at halfway, and yeah, kind of took the steam out of it, but we've had some good and some bad. It's got to get a little bit more consistent and kind of lessen these little problems we're having. But honestly, it's been a solid start to the season.
But I feel like now we're coming into tracks though that you're way more comfortable, way more familiar with here. Getting back towards this East Coast dirt here.
Lucky for you, you got 2 weeks off, and then you go down a track that you could ride with your eyes closed. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm looking forward to it, man, and. That's the thing. Them West Coast tracks are tough, and even
you say it, they're shit.
More... yeah, no, they are shit. they're bad. They're just it's a totally different type of riding. They develop so much different than over here, and I'm being from Michigan, I'm so used to riding sand and loamy tracks that are good and all that type of stuff. So it's going over there where it's hard and really holy and those kickers and edges. It's tough. It's tough for sure. But I was actually proud I adapted to it the way I did, and for never really riding those tracks out there. So it wasn't too bad.
I was just gonna say. So do you think for the next 3 rounds, Redbud, the Wick, and then going to Millville, having that softer deep base, do you think you're gonna put it in the top 10?
Yeah, that's my goal. That's honestly been my goal every weekend. I've been, my speed is there. I've been a guy that's for sure within the top 15 speed, and Hangtown definitely was. I could have snagged the top 10 right there for sure. So, that's my goal. I know I can do it. It's all about putting yourself in the right spot too. These starts are so crucial, and obviously I'm not quite fast enough to be able to come from way back up into there. So it's when I start up front and I can be right in that mix, it makes it a lot easier to be able to run that pace and be up there. So, it's just kind of put yourself in a good spot, click off those starts. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to these tracks coming up. Redbud obviously is hometown race and, is always usually pretty good. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, Southwood for sure. I'm a sand guy, so I love that sand there.
Now, are you doing like you did in 21? Are you basically practicing out like Martin and that kind of stuff up here, or do you have somewhere else that you're practicing this summer?
No, pretty much. Be practicing at Martin and kind of anywhere that's running around home. I have a few private tracks I ride as well, so kind of just doing that. Honestly, I haven't even rode in Michigan yet this year. Before the season, there was only 2 weeks after I didn't do the very last round of Supercross. So there was only 2 weeks to get ready, for outdoors. So I just stayed in Florida, down there at Dreamland with Renslin. So I did 2 weeks there just to really get right in some heat, and then went home 3 days later, left for out west, and been out there the last few weeks, and then got back from out west, Colorado last Monday evening. And then left Thursday to High Point. So it's been go. It's definitely been a busy 4 weeks. So I really haven't had the chance to ride even back home. But, now that we're back here and, stuff should be getting a little less chaotic, I'm looking forward to riding around here and hitting some of the tracks here for sure.
Okay. Yeah. So one thing I want to ask you about here, I know we've talked about it kind of off the record when we've seen each other at the races or whatever. I want to talk about your wrist injury because I don't feel like a lot of people really know the whole kind of in-depth thing, because the wrist surgery you had was like proprietary. Like they'd never really done anything like that before, correct?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's been a tough deal. It definitely was a no joke injury, and yeah, a lot of people really don't know the extent of it. You know, they might just hear, oh yeah, broken wrist or whatever, but yeah, the extent of it was pretty bad, and I had previous complications with it from I broke it 2 other times before this last time here, and I had a deformity actually. It's like the bone on the outside of your wrist, it was almost like crooked, so that bone protruded out really far, and gave me a lot of motion problems and a lot of issues kind of ever since then. And I've tried to get it fixed, and I've seen many doctors, lots of times, and they all said it was something possible and this and that. And after that Supercross last year when I re-broke it, I went up there to Vale to Dr. Viola, and their team was amazing in helping me out getting that fixed. And yeah, he did a surgery that he's a world-class doctor, works with Olympic athletes and all these things, has super high credentials, and he had never even seen something like that, and didn't even, we kind of had to make up a plan for what had happened. And throughout last year I had 3 surgeries on it, and they were pretty gnarly ones. I had to have my arm lengthened and bone graft put in my wrist. I have 1.5 inches of bone graft in there, and so yeah, it was a tough process. And I'm finally, I raced last year, but I still wasn't, even when I did get back on the bike, I wasn't even nowhere near in any place to be riding. Honestly, I should have just probably took the year off, to be honest. But that the racer inside you, and you want to be out there. So I was trying to make it happen with what I had. But yeah, it was a gnarly injury for sure.
Yeah. So now you rode down you've been training down at Dreamland then for Supercross. Is that's where you were riding at?
Yeah, I did my Supercross prep down there, and I stayed down there just a majority of Supercross, just because a lot of the rounds were closer, obviously, to down there. And then after Supercross got done, I just hit, it was only 2 weeks, so I just stayed there and rode those 2 weeks down there. That's cool.
Yeah, I saw some of your Instagram stuff, and I was like, man, I can't figure out where he's at. But not a ton of people ride down there, so I always try to like figure out when I look at the tracks, because I can usually pinpoint like, oh, that's MTF, that's wherever. So but never could quite do that with you, so that's interesting to know. Who else rides down there other than Renslin, or was it just you and him?
Yeah, they keep it pretty low key. This year Luke, cause his brother Cody, he trains like all year round and works with a small group of amateur riders that train there. Luke, on the other hand, he, for the first time, did a Supercross program this year, and we had a small group of us. It was me, Jeremy Hand, Quinn, he races in Canada, and yeah, it was just us out there, and we were pretty much grinding the Supercross, and he did a little program for the winners, so that was kind of how that deal came about. But they keep it pretty low-key for the most part.
That's cool, man. That place looks awesome. I've seen it in videos before, like the outdoor track part of it, and I'm just
used to be real gnarly.
I was gonna say I'm just amazed by it.
When Luke raced full time, that track was really fucking gnarly back in the day.
So how?
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's sick.
How do we land on Hondas here? So like, because before it was you were on Yamahas back in 21. And then I know you went to the SGB team there, and you were on Hondas. So how did we end up staying on Hondas there? Did we got dealership locally here that we cut a deal with, or what do we got going on with that?
No, honestly, I don't get hardly no help from dealership with bikes and stuff. It was simply just really like a time thing. It was easier after the whole SCB thing. That didn't turn out very well. That team's. It had its ups and downs for sure.
We'll talk about that not on the show, because I want to hear all the stories from that one.
And we've heard stuff.
I was gonna say I've heard rumblings, but I want to hear all the stories firsthand here. So
yeah. I just say it wasn't the best experience, but I had a couple Hondas from that. After that got over, so it was hard to get bikes at the time as well, so I kind of just stayed on them because I had 2 of them already, so it kind of worked out better for me just to stay on it financially with, instead of trying to get more bikes and this and that. So, yeah.
Now, do you have anything done to them, or are they basically stock bikes with suspension and a pipe?
Yeah, for outdoors, it's pretty much just a stock bike. We have an ECU and exhaust on it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
So the Kessler Special.
Kessler Special.
Oh yeah, Kessler Special all the way.
That's awesome. Is OnlyFans still on board with you for outdoors too, or were they a Supercross only deal?
No, it's I signed a full year thing with them, so yeah, it's outdoors as well.
Cool, sweet. Now, do you have an
Yeah,
Do you have an OnlyFans page?
No, it's honestly helped out my program a ton having them on board with me, and obviously as a privateer, you're the funding and finding the money to do this stuff is tough for sure. So having someone that's able to fund that and help out my year where I can not have to worry about my travel stuff and the gas and the hotels, all that goes into it, you know what I mean? So I can do this whole series is nice for sure.
Yeah, well, we got a local race coming up, and we're looking for people to help out here. So you got to text me back, buddy.
Might have to jump on board on that.
Hey, we run a very low key operation over here. We require very little on our end here for giving out money here for privateer people. So, you got anything else for him?
No, man, just good to see that he can make it to the whole series and stuff, So that's always the biggest part when you're in a privateer situation. So it's cool that he's getting the chance to do the whole series.
Yeah. I got one more thing. How did you feel about Supercross this year? Because I know it was a bit of a struggle there. It looks like Nashville was the only one that you made the main in. Like, how did you feel about your Supercross season?
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't obviously. I would have liked to have been in more mains, but I got to just take what I could get. It was technically my rookie Supercross season, because in 22 I didn't even get that learning year, so I'd never experienced that going through the day and how it all works and riding those tracks and everything that comes along with it. So it's tough. It was just mainly it had to be that learning year, and I wish it could have been last year and this year coming in better and contending more. But yeah, I was glad to make that main in Nashville, and honestly I could have made a lot more mains. It wasn't a lack of speed and things like that. It was I was buried off the starts, and you're trying to come through the pack. It's hard to make stuff happen. So there was a handful of them that I definitely could have made for sure. But definitely was a learning year, and take that into next year for sure, and hopefully make some more mains and be able to compete more for sure.
I do have a question for Jace before he goes. So it's about Supercross since we're talking about it. Was the plan always to ride outdoors, or did you at all, any part of you, like try to make some connections for World Supercross, or was the plan just always do outdoors?
No.
Like that's not even in your mind?
Yeah, no, for me, like it was always to do outdoors. I love outdoors.
Yeah.
I don't, I've always been an outdoors guy. I kind of prefer that more, I'd say, or at least right now. Maybe when I get better at Supercross, but right now, I've always been an outdoor guy. I enjoy the outdoors. I love the long motos and the tracks and that stuff. So the goal was, always outdoors, but I didn't have an opportunity that that came up for anything else. So as well, so you never know. Like if something came up, would have been something to think about and consider doing. But yeah, for me, it was always outdoors.
I'm honestly kind of surprised that nobody, any of the Canadian teams, didn't reach out to you, and I only say that just because you've already proven yourself in 2021. Like everybody knows your name, and with a chance that Christopher Blackmer, another Michigan kid, got last year. I'm just a little shocked that and maybe they did and we just don't know about it, but like I was kind of thinking, I was like, yeah, maybe Jace will get a shot at a factory team up in Canada, just because obviously their programs are way different than the way we run things down here. So
yeah, and that's another thing, honestly, for me personally, like I want to stay here. I want to be here racing. This is the top of the sport, the pinnacle of everything. And even with talking with Luke, he did that up in Canada, and he said it was great and all, but he said he was forgotten about here. He said he could have had a chance to come back here and race, but he was kind of forgotten about at that point. And I don't ever, obviously I'm not in that position exactly, like he was, but I don't ever want that to happen if I were to, you know what I mean? Because I always, that's always been the dream, as you're a little kid to race, pro motocross and supercross and all that here in the States. So.
Definitely can respect that.
All right, well, cool, man. Well, we appreciate you giving us some time tonight, and good job so far this outdoor season. I'm sure we've got way more to come, and like I said, hit me up here. I'll text you here this week. Let's work on something for Redbud, man.
Yeah, cool. I appreciate you guys having me on. Always good talking with you guys. So, I'm sure see you at Redbud there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll see you at Redbud. Don't you worry. So, all right, man. We'll talk to you later, buddy. Thank you.
See you.
All right, later, guys.
Yeah, bye. All right, Privateer Hero Jace Kessler, everybody. Well, we'll see if he can. Dude, I remember that. It was 21, right?
Yeah, when he's on the Yamaha.
Yeah.
When he started the season on the 250,
On the
and he came out to
250.
Unadilla, and he fucking got top 10.
Yeah, well, the 250 was all stock, and he was
Yeah, that's
fucking
what
top 10ing the 250
what I kept
class on
trying
a
to
stock 250. Yeah,
That's what I kept
yeah.
trying to explain to people, that Kessler was literally doing it on a bone stock fucking 250F.
Yeah.
You know, and then he gets on the 450, and he's like, oh, he goes out there, and yeah, because it was Iron Man, the first moto where he ripped a hole in, he was running like top 5, and he was battling with Chase for
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
You know, and
he
it's like,
was-
holy shit.
Yeah, he was really, really good. On
If
that.
Jace gets the opportunity,
in
you put him on
21.
and you put him on the right situation and the right program, like he's a, and people would call me, biased because he's a Michigan kid, and I've known Jace since he was little, but I think I'm not saying he's at a Time Master Pool level as far as talent, but he's definitely a kid that if you put him in the right situation, he can be top 10 all the time.
Yeah.
At least
yeah.
outdoors. Supercross, obviously, just like you said, it's a little bit of a learning curve for him, but the kid is not in a lack of speed.
No, not at all.
And I fully expect him in the next 3 rounds to be very, very good.
Yeah, me too. He's one of those kids that it's like, if we just had outdoor only contracts,
Exactly.
it would be really good for him because Supercross has been a struggle.
And like he said, 2022, he never really got the opportunity.
Yeah, he
and
broke
so
his
this-
wrist at
this
Minneapolis
was
the
this
first
was a
round
rookie
there,
round, so
yep.
at least he can say he made a main. I don't remember what he did in Nashville.
21st.
But he was also, like you said, though, it's not like he wasn't in situations, because there was quite a few times in the qualifiers, or at least in the heat races, he was in transfer position, made a couple
Yeah.
mistakes as a rookie. In the LCQs, just terrible starts, and we all know in 5 minutes
Yeah.
you're not going to. But the next 3 rounds, it would totally not shock me that outside of Ty, if he's the next best privateer.
100%.
We're going to Red Bud. He knows track like the back of his hand.
Well, like you said, was it Thunder Valley there or whatever? He was running
Hangtown.
running top 10, and I saw that, and I was like, holy shit, there
And the
he
Wick,
is.
he'll be really good because he grew up riding Baja, and
Yep.
Melville, same thing. So
Yep.
the next 3 rounds, you're gonna see a really locked in Jace Kessler. So it's always good to see the Michigan kids up there doing well. So
Yeah. Thanks to Jace for coming
Thank
on
you.
there.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Okay, so we got Kev coming up here. So while we're stalling, waiting for Kev here, because I don't want to jump back into the 250s
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
We'll just do that all at one thing. Have you ever heard of this guy, Abide Moto?
No.
He is hilarious. So he posts his notes from the race recaps here, okay, that he has. And then he screenshots it and he posts it on Instagram. And it is the funniest shit ever. Let me read these to you. This is the Abide High Point recap. Bring back Bradshaw Boulevard and the uphill triple. New layout is sad. Ken off the couch, needs an electric starter though. Ken plus Suzuki plus 05 Straffer equals grease. I don't know what that means. Drone cam operated by Vietnam Vic. Now you probably don't know who Vietnam Vic is because you don't listen to Pulp. So Vietnam Vic is a guy who flew for the Air Force in Vietnam. And Kiefer worked at some airport where Vic was, right? And every day Vic was like, yo, you want to go up in the airplane? You want to go up in the airplane? Well, finally, at one point, Kiefer's like, sure, we'll go up in the airplane, right? So Vic takes him up, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'll do all this shit, right? And Kiefer's in the back like, and he's like, all of a sudden, all I hear is Vic come on the headset and go, you okay back there? You okay back? So it's like this huge running joke on Pulp, right? So Vietnam Vic running the drone footage. The drone footage, I like. Do you like
I love the drone footage. I was
like
actually going to bring this up. Yesterday, though,
Yesterday
the battle
was a
box
bit-
was a little...
yeah.
There were times where we stuck overhead for like a little bit too long.
How about the drone getting hit by the mud by RJ in the first moto?
Dude, that
was
shows you. That
crazy.
shows you how, like,
Fucking nuts, man.
But I've actually really liked. That's been the aspect of the broadcast. Now that we're fully on Peacock, some of the stuff that they've changed.
Yeah.
I really do like the drone.
I do, too.
It's been great. Yesterday, and some people were complaining of this, I think the battle boxes, we stayed a little bit too far overhead. Because there were times where, like, because they switched really quickly, so it didn't really have you time to figure out. And you're like, you couldn't really tell who they were on.
Yeah.
But no, I've loved the drone footage. And
I
the
do, too.
overhead drone footage of the starts.
Yeah. Really good. Like
Money.
yesterday, you could really see Jet rocket out that second moto and then get pinched off
And the
there.
practices, when they hone in on somebody doing
Yeah.
a heater, like, top notch. Like, that's something I could say the broadcast.
It allows you to see like the ruts and the lines and where they go and stuff
also
like that.
the fact of when they've zoomed out, when they're like yesterday when RJ was stalking down Deegan after he went down, like you could really get a good idea of the actual gap. So, and this is the one thing I'll credit to. I think a lot of these changes that they've honed in on has been a part of, hey, we're actually like with a fucking, a TV setup. So I will say, I'll give them credit for that. I don't know whose idea that was.
Don't worry, more of that comes up here.
But kudos to whoever had the idea to
yeah.
go with the drone. I'll give you guys credit on that.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
So Deegan gets RJ'd out of a win.
We'll talk about that. It's good.
Jet still everyone's daddy on Father's Day. I'm telling you, dude. Some of the stuff this guy comes up with, I follow him for a couple weeks now. It's hilarious. DC adds wood chips to his track. Works as good as MAF TV. Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. And then Ferrandis needs last year's bike and an over-the-jersey chesty. Because did you notice he's not running the over-the-jersey anymore?
He's not.
We got to go back to the 22 and put it over the jersey. And Jet enters Dave Mirra God mode with no visor, both motos. RIP GOAT.
Them A-Stars helmets, bro.
Dude,
money.
That second moto, I was like, did he go down? And then they start talking. They're like, oh no, the mud.
So
magnets.
between him, Sexton from 2021 and 2022, like every time he went down, and then pretty much the whole Yamaha team over the GPs, just every time they crash, that fucking visor just comes off.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Sewer, I can't tell you how many times last year he rode like 35 minutes with just no visor.
Shit's insane, man.
Dude, I
Absolutely
get
nuts.
it why they do it, but I just find it hilarious that it seems like the A-Stars helmets are the only ones that it happens to. It's like, dude,
It's rough.
Hunter's did it a couple times in Supercross. Like,
Yeah.
it's just hilarious that it's really only the A-Stars helmets. So
You want to talk any about World Supercross here? We got the first round coming up here.
I really hope that Fox Sports doesn't botch the TV coverage.
Is that what it's on? I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
I
on
was like,
Fox
I don't even know.
Sports.
Okay.
It's on, and it's always going to be next day when it comes on.
Okay, so it'll be like Sunday.
Because I'm definitely not buying the package.
No.
I'm not doing that. I already have Fox Sports on Hulu. I'll just wait
Yeah.
for the next day. I mean, dude,
Does anybody beat Kenny for that 450 title? I mean, I think Savachi might beat him in some races.
Savachi's going to be your best bet. I mean, it's pretty much Kenny, Savachi, and Justin Hill. Dino's going to be there, and who's the other 450 dude? There's one other 450 guy. Let's be real. It's probably going to be Kenny, Savachi.
It'd be handy if I had the lineup in front of me. But
Well,
of
I
course
mean, let's be
we're not
real. I
prepared.
don't think anybody really knows the full lineup of what it's
No.
going to be. It's probably going to be Kenny, Savachi, and Justin Hill most of the year. 1, 2, 3. Maybe insert. I think there'll be rounds where Savachi will beat him. I guess it just depends on how good that bike is. But no, I mean, in the long run, probably not, just because of the format. Like, it's gonna fit Kenny. Like, because if at any moment that Joey doesn't get a good start and Kenny does,
Yeah.
dude, it's too short. Like, he's not gonna have time to run him down. Now, I do believe that if they start together, I think Joey can beat him. But no, with the format, it's too tailor suited to Kenny's the way he races Supercross.
Have they announced a format yet?
I thought it was going to be the same as last year.
So we're gonna go 3 races.
Yeah, the pole, and then the pole has something to do like
Super
the Super
Pole.
Which honestly, the only thing I really even look forward to half the time is the Super Pole.
I'll be interested to see how they make the tracks different from last year, because I know between the 2 rounds last year they took a lot of different info in from riders and teams and everything else.
Yeah, because last year's tracks were not.
And I'm sure now they have it. And now, did you see that Reed's a
part of the broadcast?
Well,
group
not
or
only
something?
part of the broadcast, he's like rider relations or something too.
Yeah. Is it Ralph and Fro again?
I believe so.
And then what? Is what's his nuts? Joseph Allen and Kristen Beat going to be back in the?
Fuck if I know.
I mean, as long as Kristen Beat's there, I don't really give a shit. Joseph Allen can whatever. Surprised I even remembered his name. Half the time I couldn't remember
That's
his name. It was
impressive.
Like Fresh Prince.
Like you said that. And I
Yeah,
was
well,
like,
maybe that's
wow,
because
he's
I haven't
fresh-
had to
calling
deal
out
with
Fresh
it,
Prince here.
listening to his bullshit. I think another question is like, who's going to win the 250s? Is it just money that it's going to be Max? Because, I mean, I don't really know. Like, the only other person that had 250s, McElrath, I think, is riding the 250s again.
Hold on, let me go in here.
I know that Aaron Tonti is supposed to be dropping back down, and he battled Max a couple times last year. But like, do we really expect anybody to beat Ansty with the way a Supercross season went?
Let's see here. Who else do we got?
I can't see. I mean, maybe Lopes. Lopes will probably give him a good run.
So, for the PNG team, you've got Hunter Yoder and Cullen Park.
No, Yoder will be good, but he won't be up front.
Brayton gonna do anything?
Probably like top 5.
Okay.
I think Super Poles he'll be really good.
So Josh Hill.
I mean, dude, you got to think if he was getting top 10s, he's got to be probably around where Brayton is. Wouldn't you think? No. Here's the thing. I think the mains are going to be too short. A lot of his was he came on strong at the end of mains.
Okay.
I don't know if he's got that sprint speed at the beginning.
Hawaii's own Grant Harlan in the 450s. So you got anything? You get a podium?
No.
So you get a podium, a WSX round?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I love Grant, but I don't think so.
Luke Clout?
250 or 450?
250s.
He might be somebody that could be up there beyond the box quite a bit. He's finally healthy.
What about Aaron Tanti?
Tonti, I think, will be the one guy that probably you could see challenge Max.
Okay. Let's see here. Anthony Boudron?
No. Nope.
Okay, nothing.
French
Bud
guys.
Racing?
Nope.
And Adrian Escoffier?
Subaros is in there again, right?
I believe so. Hold
I
on,
think
I'm just scrolling.
I think Subs is in there
Scrolling
again.
the WSX Instagram here until I find riders confirmed here.
I think Subs is in there again.
Jace Owen?
Owen will probably be top 5 in the 250s, you'd have to assume.
Okay. Let's see here.
Bloss is riding
Yep.
Bloss
Hold
and
on.
I think Matt Moss.
Vince Freeze?
450? Ooh.
450s?
Yeah.
It's gonna freezy?
I think Freeze, well, I mean, he did battle for a world championship last year.
Mitchell Oldenburg?
250 or 450?
250 class?
Yeah, you got to probably put him in there.
Michael Lessie?
Whatever.
I love the eye roll. Whatever, dude. Fuck that guy.
I don't give a shit.
Like, just retire, bro.
So far, what I'm getting the gist of, because I know Enzo's
what year did Michael Lessie go pro?
2003. 2003. He was 16.
Maybe we should just
Maybe we should give her a day. Call her a day.
Just call it a day.
Just call it a day. So
Matt Moss?
No, Matt Moss will be good, but I don't think he's going to be.
Kyle Peters?
Nah, man. I don't think. I don't. He hasn't ridden Supercross in a while. He's been doing the arena cross shit, but we know that there is a difference of. I think his days of really pushing it after his injury, I don't think he wants to try to go to that level to try to win.
So Peters and Bloss are the Honda Nils 250 guys.
So from the gist that I'm getting, I think top 5 450s will probably be Kenny, Joey, Justin Hill, Vince Freeze, and Dean Wilson.
Colt Nichols?
Ooh, forgot Colt's going to be in there.
Rick Ware Racing, baby.
Oh, boy.
We're here to race.
All right, man. Okay.
Is Motor will race.
All right. So, okay. All right. So, okay. 450 class might be a little bit more interesting.
Henry Miller?
Nah, I like
Okay.
Henry, but I don't think so.
All right. Let's see if we got anybody else here. Let's see here. We already talked about Kenny, Savachi, Wilson.
All right. So, that's the gist of it. So, I don't really need a rundown. So, all right. So, out of what you've seen, and like I said, 250s, Enzo Lopes is riding 250s.
Hold on. Cole Seeley?
No, I like Cole, but I think his days of doing much are over with.
Justin Bougle?
No.
Okay. All right.
Justin Bogle will throw some nasty turn downs, and that'll be about it.
Let's see. Anybody else? Oh, here we go. Okay, so Savachi, Rick Ware 450, Shane, Rick Ware 250. Yup. So it's gonna be Shane and Max battling for that 250 title then, right?
You think so?
Oh yeah. Didn't Shane win it last year?
Yeah, he did.
So Shane and Max
Yeah,
are
but
gonna
I mean,
battle.
all right. So top 5 450s for me: Kenny, Savachi, Justin Hill, Dean Wilson, and Vince Freeze.
Jordan Tixier?
Nope. I think Nichols. I guess it all depends on how healthy Nichols is.
So Tixier. So the Nils team is gonna be Tixier, Moranz, Bloss, and who was the other guy I said? Fuck. Fuck. Goddamn.
That's how much up and down this whole roster is.
Chiz for Pipes Motorsport. Thomas Ramet.
Nah, Ramet's decent in the whoops, but that's about it.
Gregory Arnanda.
Nope. He'll do some crazy
Aranda.
shit.
Maxime Despres.
Nope. Too
Okay.
old.
All right. All right. Well, that's what I got.
All right.
That's what I got for
So
you.
top 3 250, top 3 450.
Fuck, I don't even remember who I just listed off.
Kenny, Savachi, and Hill, right? Because I don't know how healthy Nichols is going to be.
Kenny, Savachi, and
Justin Hill, right?
One of the Hills, yes.
If Nichols is healthy, you'd have to take Hill
Nichols,
out.
yes.
But if he's not, so 250s, Max, Shane, and probably Enzo Lopes, then I'd assume? Because Enzo Lopes is confirmed for 250s. Right? That'd be your 3 guys?
I didn't see him on any of the lists there.
I saw him a while ago on the Racer X list that they put out.
I thought he was racing the Brazil shit.
Somebody put him on the 250 list.
I don't think he is.
Well,
maybe. Maybe he is.
I think he's
I
riding-
don't know. Yeah, because I don't think I saw anybody for the what's it called team.
Just type in Enzo Lopes World Supercross. Great radio, guys.
Look, bro, this should be on my thing here, and it's not. I give up.
I think
I
he's
need
riding.
a list.
I think he's riding World Supercross, man.
Hold on. Let me go to their website. I'm sure if I go to their website, they got a full thing.
Look, guys,
here.
we're just waiting on Kev, so we're just filling
Pre-sale
right
registration. Latest news.
now. Yeah, because I honestly thought he was on the club team.
I'm just trying to. Final rider lineup. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Final rider lineup. What the fuck? Where's my what is this? What is this? What the hell?
That's funny.
Why is this not? Oh my god, I gotta read this? Like I can't just I'm over it. I'm over it. World Supercross, catch the fever. I like that. I mean,
I don't know what to honestly. I don't know what to expect.
I don't know what to expect either.
Really, I don't know what to expect. We don't have a format.
Could be some damn good racing.
It could be. I mean, it's going to be interesting to say the least because I think outside of Kenny and Savachi, I don't think anybody really is going to be like, oh yeah, that's definitely where they're going to finish, or they're definitely going to win races. They're definitely going to do this. I mean, you have to assume that Max and Shane, but if Enzo's in the 250s, and I'm pretty sure he is, he might have something to say about that championship, dude. He just came off a really good Supercross season.
He did, yeah, and he might have something to say about that. Yeah, because I didn't see anybody in there with the freaking
club?
Is it the club? Is it club?
The club team or whatever. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's the thing. Here's the problem: is they have to have a different name for the damn teams over there, like the Pipes Motorsports.
If
group or
Enzo is
whatever.
confirmed, and I'm almost positive I saw him on a list a while ago, dude, he's got to be the favorite for the way after his Supercross season went. Like Max obviously rode great. Could almost ended up top 3 in points, but or second in points. I'm sorry, but I would have to assume that Enzo would have to be the favorite
You would think.
because I mean, dude, he had a
Well,
good,
I don't know, man. Shane was really good at those rounds last year,
he was.
and Max was
Really
really
good.
good. Do you remember that interview? At, what was it, the second one? Where
Yeah.
they came up to him, and he's just like,
No, I know he was so honed in on it.
"Yeah, good start."
Hey man, he's just all about riding Supercross these days.
Serious.
Never would have thought I'd say that Max Anstey
Serious
is
shit going on.
loaded and locked in on Supercross.
Supercross only guy.
Supercross only guy.
Big
Big Supercross
Supercross
guy.
guy.
Big Supercross guy. And I just love that every time he did an interview, he was like, man, I'm just really happy to be racing in America and riding Supercross. Never would have thought I'd been riding Supercross, but I'm riding Supercross now. Dude. Like, Matt, shut the fuck up.
No.
God.
Well, to be honest, why would I go outside?
To be honest, why would I go outside? I don't get paid any money. It's fucking
900
stupid. If I want to ride outdoors,
$900.
I go back to riding GPs. I go riding in the sand, eating dirt all day.
Oh,
Like,
man.
shut up, dude. I love Max Anstey, but God, some of those interviews just got really stupid.
Yeah, I love that guy. All right.
I do.
I'll tell you what. We're going to take a break here. We'll come back with Kev's interview
At some point.
at some point.
Because, I mean, 250s, we're going to go on a...
And then we'll
Look,
wrap up 250s.
We'll go on a rant. I'm on a rant.
So we're going to take a break here instead of stalling for longer. We'll be right back. All right. And here we are. We're back. Longtime friend of the show. Privateer hero. And now World Supercross rider. It's Mr. Kevin Moranz. Hey, Kev. It's nice to talk to you, buddy.
Intro.
Hold on. Let's see here. Get the right
Is that
button.
the right one?
There we go.
There we go.
Applause. Hell yeah. There we
nice.
are. All right, Kev. We didn't get to talk about this really last time because, well, it wasn't announced yet. But now we can officially announce you have a World Supercross ride. You're going to ride all 6 rounds or whatever they're up to now. So why don't you talk to us about how this ride came about, who you're riding for, what you're riding, and every other detail in between you can give us.
So, it kind of came about because I expressed my interest for riding World Supercross because I do not have a transport team for outdoors like I did for Supercross. And most teams are all full. So then it kind of put me in a position where I reached out to everybody, but they were all full. So I was like, okay, we're going outdoors. So that's what led us to. So we have the new KTM because we went out, got a new style KTM, tried to put us on ourselves on the new model. And then 2 days later, got a word that there was a World Supercross team looking for a rider. And like Kyle Peters was on that team. So I hit up Kyle Peters to see if he could put in a good word for me and get their contact information for me. He got that to me, and then I pretty much was like, whatever we need to do to make this happen, let's do it, because I don't have anything for outdoors right now. And yeah, just kind of right place, right time, I think.
And so we've all seen like the teasers. We've seen you riding it. How do you like the Honda so far?
Honestly, I dig it. So like, I feel at least at my home track right now, which I don't know, it could have been the winter made it a little bit easier or what, but I do feel more comfortable on the Honda right now than I have on the KTMs in the past. The suspension that they sent me for it is pretty solid, so Decker Performance has gotten that set up for me. And we've had 2 different types of suspension so far. So like, he set it all up. It was actually a little too stiff. So then we went back and made it a little softer, and honestly, it's some of the best suspension I've ever had. So that's awesome. And then we will continue. Out just testing more or less, but so far, like, I like it. It turns a little bit better, I think. It works a little bit better in the tighter stuff. That's why, if we do, so what we're gonna try to do here is we're gonna do some World Supercross on the Honda, but I don't have any kind of Honda support here in the States. I have a lot of parts and obviously a bike here in the States for KTM. So we're probably going to race the Honda World Supercross, come back, do some outdoors on the KTM. And so, yeah, it'll be an interesting situation. I think I do like the KTM a little bit better outdoors just because it handles a little bit better. The motor pulls a little bit longer than the Honda. Like, your gears will run longer, which is obviously nice in outdoors. You're not having to shift every 2 seconds. The Honda, I think, is a little bit more nimble, a little bit skinnier, like where your legs pinch, which is nice. So it makes it a little bit more maneuverable on Supercross. But it's also that maneuverability, whatever, if that's even a word.
That was.
It makes it a little bit squirrelier, on outdoors at those top speeds. So
now, have you done the quad on it yet?
Oh my God.
Absolutely, bro. I already posted a video.
Oh, that's right. I did see that the other day. Shut up. How about the whoops? How's the whoop training going on it?
Actually, that's kind of like where my decision comes from. Is I feel better in the whoops than I really ever have. So I'm excited about that.
I was interested. I liked the transparency the other day. In the vlog I was watching when you were talking to your dad Frank there about how the bike turned compared to like how you were struggling with the KTM. I think you said it was pushing out of the rut or whatever.
Standing up on.
Yeah. So I did like the transparency with that when you were talking about both bikes kind of side by side from what you could say. I will also say that fucking snake, I didn't realize you had snakes like that at your place. I don't know that I'm ever coming again.
That's just a black rat snake. It was not poisonous at all. It's not that big of a deal, trust me.
Justin, I don't know if you watched this. The sumbitch was as long as this table.
Dude, it's not poisonous. You're fine.
And Kev's just out there grabbing that sumbitch by the tail and like dragging it around.
Because Kevin's a real man.
Fuck that. Fuck snakes. I'm like Indiana Jones. Why did it have to be snakes? Yeah, I'm out.
I'm good with snakes. Spiders, not so much.
I'm not going back to Kev's house now.
Yeah, right.
I wake up and that thing's next to me, like staring at me.
Yeah, why would it be next to you?
You don't want to come watch a Supercross track we built?
Wow.
I mean, I do.
Nope, you just said you're not coming. Kev,
but
stamp it. He just said he's not coming. He doesn't care about Supercross anymore.
Snakes and budget here are tight.
You'll be fine.
Snakes and budget.
You'll be fine. Nobody's ever uttered those 2 words in the same sentence.
Snakes and budget were tight.
Yeah, never. Never.
How's the ankle?
We're pretty good here.
Still kind of gimping around.
We're gimping a little bit.
Is it going to be ready to break in a brand new Supercross track in the middle of August?
Probably. No. I'll just tell you right now. No, my plan right now is to start riding turn tracks the week after Redbud. So I've been cycling on it, but it's still like it struggles with, I'll call it stability. So it's basically like movement. So like standing up, I can't stand up with the pedals like flat. I have to like have the right one all the way down, and I can kind of stand up on my right foot to like relieve my butt on some longer rides. But so we're still going through, and it's like sometimes when I step, it's a little bit like yesterday I was power washing the kids' Razor bike to put new batteries in it, and I was dragging the hose through the yard and stepped in something in the yard and was like, oh, yep, that felt good. So we're probably like 75-80%. So, but I figure the next couple of weeks will be just the rest of the swelling going down and getting it stretched back out again, and then by first week of July there, I think we'll be good to go. But we're in the home stretch here, but we're not coming to ride.
That's good. So it's getting that much better.
Yeah, like let's put it this way: I'm walking around with just a small brace in my regular shoes all day working. So,
but he's not coming to ride Supercross because of snakes.
I'm not coming to ride Supercross because of snakes and budget and August.
It's mostly just snakes.
It's hot in August.
It's mostly just snakes.
And mostly the snakes.
Yeah.
To be real honest, I had nightmares about that sumbitch the other night.
You really that scared of snakes?
I don't like them at all.
Have you ever been bit by a snake or something?
No.
Dude, I'll cuddle with a snake before I look at a spider.
Yeah, I can deal with snakes. Spiders, no go.
See, spiders don't seem to scare me quite as much. I just stomp on those. And I have some big-ass spiders there in the shop. You
clearly have never been around a tarantula.
They're just creepy crawly, dude.
Yeah.
Like, at least you can see a snake for the most part. You can't always see a spider.
Yeah, man, you might be turning around that spider.
You don't know which
ones
are poisonous all the time.
There you go.
So back to outdoors here. So Kev, so you saw the points after the race yesterday. Went, oh shit, I'm in 20th. I better start getting to some outdoors and scoring some points here.
Yeah, man, that is no joke. But I do know that like Lorenzo Lacrucio and those guys that are already in outdoors and have probably the pace on me right now because I haven't even raced an outdoor.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tough to stay in front of those dudes.
Yeah.
So it's really just going to, and I'm going to be another 2 races behind everybody by the time I get there.
Yeah, Wildcat Racing's killing it.
I mean?
Wow.
Wildcat.
Jose Butron. What have you been watching the outdoor rounds at all, or?
A little bit, but not paying attention to it very hard.
What?
Besides just looking at the results and wanting to just cry.
like going, man, I should have probably raced these first 4.
He's seeing Grant Harlan. He's like,
yeah, 100%.
Stupid.
I'm not gonna lie, Kev. After about like round 2, I went, Kev probably should have been at these first 4 here.
Probably.
Just banking points for SMX.
I think he dodged a bullet not having to ride Paula though.
Yeah, he still could have got points.
Yeah, see, Masterpool's another one who's probably going to come by and pass me.
I know, but my thing is, I have this weird thing with it is like, okay, so these guys like Jose Butron, Lorenzo, Masterpool, like, are they going to show up to the SMX shit?
Masterpool might. Butron's definitely not.
Like, because
dude, anybody, hold on, anybody who's in the top 20 for sure is showing up. They can literally roll around in 20th. You get an automatic transfer. You can roll around each race and get 25 grand. You'd be retarded not to do that.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I just think about like those guys, like I said, like the Wildcat Racing team there, like Masterpool, who don't race Supercross, and it's like as much as they're going to try to make these a hybrid track, we all know it's just going to be like Supercross without whoops.
Butron's the only one that doesn't have Supercross experience. Lorenzo will definitely go. I mean, he's already ridden Supercross before,
if they have the budget for it. They don't even have the budget to keep going here.
Yeah, well, that's very true.
They're on a week-by-week basis at this point, from what I understand. Like Butron and
Lorenzo
Lacrucio, the Wildcat Racing. I heard they had budget for like the first 3 or 4, and beyond that, it's kind of real touch and go. So
interesting.
They've been openly looking for sponsors.
I'm here to tell you, Ty Masterpool on a 450 on a Supercross track is gonna be real sketchy.
Real sketchy. What do you think about this? What do you think about this this generational talent we got going on here?
Why do you gotta bring? Oh my
god,
dude, I think if he finds himself on 2 wheels every moto, he has the potential to go for a perfect season, which I think is insane.
Yeah. He's
until Chase is Chase coming back or not? Do we have any kind of inside scoop on that?
we have zero inside scoop. I'm gonna dig into that this week a little bit.
I think his mono is the biggest thing that's holding him back right now.
Well, like, so they're just going to leave him out until SMX and have him try to win that championship, or what?
I don't know, man. It was the whole thing when it came out that he wasn't racing here was super weird because you had his Instagram say, "Oh, I'm sitting out this weekend," and then you have the Honda Instagram saying he's out indefinitely, and then he doesn't show up for the next 2 rounds, and he's got mono, which it's like mono's somewhat like Epstein-Barr. You just don't get over it.
It's also impressive to think that he rode Paula with mono.
Yeah, like you just don't get over it. You have to just sit around.
Yeah.
You cannot train while you're getting over it. So it's and then you got to think too, like he's going to KTM next year, so like what's his motivation? I mean, bro, you're homies with him. Why don't you call him and find out this inside scoop for me?
I'm not that close to homies with him.
Just text it. Just
I think he's
text.
still salty about a little nudgy nudge in the first corner there.
Oh my god. Oh my
We
god.
definitely know he's not getting a text from AC.
He won
though.
a fucking title. Tell him to get over it. Like let's just be
Dude,
adults
he got a
here.
cool mill. He's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I don't have any inside scoop, but I mean, I do remember somebody saying before it came out that it was going to be longer than just 1 round, but I'm pretty sure somebody told me that it was like, nah, it's not just a 1 round thing, but I don't know how gnarly of a situation it was.
I think Sexton wants to come back. I think it's a team thing.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Because Lars talked about wanting him back, so I don't know.
We know how
It's
these
a
people
weird
are.
situation with him leaving after this year. It's a super
Dude, who
weird
knows?
situation.
He might be back at Redbud. Who knows?
Yeah,
I
I
highly
don't
doubt
know.
it, but he might be back at Redbud. I think that his biggest. I don't know. I think we'll see him outdoors at some point because I still think he wants to try to beat Jet outdoors. But
Is there an outdoor this weekend?
No.
week off.
We're off.
Then they go to Redbud.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yep. So
Yeah. What about you've been paying attention to this Danger Boy Deegan thing at all?
Dude, he's been ripping. I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
I haven't been paying attention to it. I've just seen the results and like for a moto win and a couple podium finishes. Like, dude's legit.
hey man, all you
Once
gotta do is go to our YouTube channel, read some of the comments, and it's fucking you'll just laugh your ass off because Jesus Christ, his fans are stupid.
You will find out how dumb me and Justin really are.
Yeah, we're a bunch of idiots, and his fans are fucking awesome, and they're couch potato. I don't know, dude. His fans are.
I'm not sure if you're aware, Kev. We don't know anything about motocross over here,
Yeah.
and we should probably kill ourselves and just stop doing the show.
I'm sure at some
goodness.
point that's actually been a comment.
I mean, dude,
That's rough.
It is funny because Steve Mathis always talks about these guys talking shit to him, and then he goes to their page, and it's like a father of 2, like Jesus' life.
Well, dude, you did see,
and like that's real.
You did see what Weege called Deegan fans after Thunder Valley, right? He called them bedbugs.
Oh yes, yes, I did, dude. It was super funny because on that review show, they didn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole when Steve brought it up in the results thing, and then at the end they started talking about it, and it was like, holy shit, guys, for not wanting.
About what?
They didn't want to talk. They didn't want to talk about the Deegan fans.
You can't talk about Deegan fans, Kev. Like
No.
they are like it's. Look, the kid is
Wait,
great.
what do you mean the Deegan thing? What they did? Who didn't want to talk
No,
about
it's
it?
fans.
You can't talk about his fans. Weege and JT did not want to talk about it on the review podcast they do with Mathis there. They didn't want to touch it, and then at the end they start getting into it, and Weege compared them to bedbugs or something, which was really funny. And yeah, because dude, these Deegan fans are they come out of the woodworks. I kid you not. We said that we were highly doubtful he would win a moto. When he won that moto, I got as soon as it was over, I got a text from Issac Gonzales, our West Coast dude there who we met, and then literally within seconds, my phone just starts on old YouTube videos of us talking about Deegan of how much of a fucking moron I am.
Dude, we have
seconds.
One of the videos we did is up to 400 some odd comments of just people calling us morons and idiots and
every weekend.
Oh my goodness.
No
Dude,
matter
it's bad.
what happens, every weekend. And then last weekend when he finished 8th, I did have
Silent.
one kid go, so you going to call him out? And I said, no, I'm just like RV. I'm rubbing my hands together and just stacking these statistics of his finishes that weren't on the box.
Look, dude,
so I can come out and be like, I told you.
Deegan is great for the sport. He's obviously got a lot of grit. He's fast. Talent is through the roof. But I've never seen fans that are like his, man. They are just I've been through the whole McGrath era, Stu era, Ricky's fans, RV's fans, dude, Jet fans. Deegan fans are next level, man. They are horrible.
They will go to every video you've posted in the last 3 months talking about him and tell you how much of a moron you are. It's magical, man, and it's great. I'm making so
you
much
almost
money.
need to just have more podcasts talking about him.
Oh,
so
we
you
have
get the controversy in the comments.
Oh yeah,
We have
we're making shirts.
We have a dedicated section called the Deegan Danger Zone. We retooled the Dylan Danger Zone with the Deegan Danger Zone. It's actually sponsored by our communal friend here, Mr. Isaac Nelson with Isaac Nelson Designs.
It's great.
And yeah, it's fantastic, man. Yeah, we had to dedicate a whole section to talking about him. And trust me, I get that all the time too. Of I'm just trying to get clicks off a 17-year-old, and I'm a worthless old
Piece
man.
of shit. Which 99% of his fans have never
man,
even
that's
fucking
funny.
thrown a leg over a dirt bike. So that's the great part
back
about
to
it.
Kev riding outdoors here. So Kev needs some transport. So if anybody
Yeah.
out there wants to transport a bike from Kansas to Redbud to put on a
Southwick.
different transport to go to Southwick, or if you're going from Kansas to Southwick, we could make something happen there. Kev's on board with it. Do you want me to put your phone number in the description down below,
I
or
don't think he wants that.
Probably
one of those
not.
ads.
Whoa. Probably not in the description, but throw the old Instagram tag up and they can DM me.
Kev's just getting all of a sudden weird.
starts getting weird text messages from old guys? Love your riding.
Yeah,
Love your riding, bro. Love your vlogs.
Gear looks good. So for these
But, yeah, so
Oh,
the
go ahead.
situation, I'll explain the situation kind of. So I'm working on trying to find a team to transport my stuff, and I'm hopefully going to be having a conversation with them later today. However, I am looking for somebody who's maybe coming from the Kansas area to go watch Redbud. I haven't made a post or anything like that, so I probably need to just do that, see if there's anybody around here. Like, I don't have any problem, like, covering fuel, etc., to get you guys up there. You guys go have a good time. I'll cover fuel if you can take my bike up there, kind of deal. So that's kind of my situation I'm looking at, because I need to take, like, a bike, parts bin, some fuel, and gear bag, etc., put it on a rig, and then they'll take it to the rounds from there on. But that's the only way I'm going to be able to race Southwick is if I get my bike up to Redbud, and then it goes from Redbud to Southwick, because I won't be able to make the 21-hour drive all the way to Southwick from my house right before Southwick, because I'll be getting back a day before the race from the first World Supercross.
So when do you have to go to the first World Supercross? Like, what's the media thing
I
like?
leave this coming Tuesday.
Okay.
I leave in 1 week.
Okay.
So this 1 week from this coming Tuesday.
So you'll be there. You'll be there for the week before, essentially. So do you have a schedule of media and stuff you have to do already? Because I know they were pretty high on that the first couple rounds last year.
Kind of. The biggest thing is we just got to be there Thursday. So we'll fly out Tuesday. We'll get there Wednesday, sleep, wake up, and then Thursday is pretty much all day media day as far as I'm aware.
Sweet.
And then Friday will probably be a similar situation, get acquainted with the bike. I don't know if there's any kind of press or anything. And then race Saturday. And then Rachel and I are going to stay Sunday, Monday, and then fly out Tuesday. So we'll get to spend a couple days in London, which will be cool.
Sweet. Super groovy.
You say super groovy.
Yeah. So we got anything special cooking up for different gear designs for WSX rounds, or what are we doing here?
We got some availability. So obviously the cool thing with Canvas. So big shout out to Canvas and how they are able to customize our gear, and obviously everything's sublimated, so it looks super professional. So we're gonna have Patreons on the arms, which is gonna be pretty cool. So anybody who joins the Moranz Mafia by going to kevinmoranz.com, hitting the Join Moranz Mafia tab, or hitting the link in my bio on Instagram, etc., etc. Patreons level 5 to 7, so 5, 6, and 7, which are usually our front fender tiers, will have their name listed down the jersey arms, which is going to be pretty cool. As of right now, it looks like we will have a slot for TLR Coatings / Moto Aftermath on the jersey. So we do get to take select sponsors with us that are helping support some of our travel and other expenses. So we are actually actively looking for a couple more people to go overseas with us, just be a part of the program, be part of the vlog, etc. So that's some pretty cool stuff. We're going to do our helmet wraps. So yeah, there's cool little things that we're going to be doing to try to help support the whole program. And there's fans get involved.
The only thing I want to know is there going to be a kangaroo on the
Hello?
jersey? Oh, is he there?
Are you there?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay.
Is there going to be a kangaroo on the jersey for the Australia round?
I kind of like that. 100%. I love.
Dude, you got to do it, man. You got to feed into it. There's got to be a kangaroo on there.
What'd you say?
I said you got to feed into it, man. You got to put a kangaroo on the jersey for the Aussie round.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'd be down for that.
With some like boxing gloves or
Aussies
something.
have
I
some
don't know.
good comments on the Instagram.
Oh, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So, well, hey, man, all I'm saying is I might have to start riding a Honda if this Honda deal continues to go because I might just have to accidentally end up with some Honda Supercross
No,
suspension.
I mean, you're not riding Supercross at his house. Remember, snakes.
I have a Supercross
That's
track here.
funny.
You have a track in your
I
backyard.
I did ask him if I could keep this suspension. That's a no-go. So that's unfortunate.
Oh,
That's
tough.
What if somebody accidentally steals it?
That's
Oh, I don't know what that situation looks like.
I don't really know if that's a good
You
thing
know?
for Kev.
Is it insured?
No idea.
I'm not saying a lot. I'm just saying black ski masks are cheap.
First, you got to go down to his house
Ridiculous.
where you're around the snakes.
Where I'm around the snakes, which
So,
that's a fucking problem to
You
start
got to
with.
weigh that. You got to weigh there. Like
Then I got to put
"Ah."
a ski mask on in the middle of August here. That's a problem.
Yeah. So that's not gonna happen.
It seems like a lot of work. I think it'd be cheaper just to buy suspension.
Yeah, dude, you got an extra 30K later.
But
That's
man, the
fine.
color on those forks, woo, buddy!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, they're so sick.
It was good. So how's the van fund coming? We building there?
Good. We're actually getting ready to drop something new probably this coming week. Which we'll release it first on the Moto Aftermath Show.
Ooh.
All
But
right.
we're gonna be the Supercross race bike that has hole shotted all factory riders is gonna be up for grabs for $100.
Fuck! I better get $100.
Yep.
Just open my wallet and take my money, Kev.
Yep, indeed. So we're going to be doing the sponsorship block situation. Sponsorship block holder will have an opportunity at the bike, but there's a cool thing too that you'll see very soon. But we got a large canvas print of Kev Dog in front of all factory riders on that bike. So a very good hole shot photo that we have blown up on a canvas. It's like 20 inches by 40 inches, and we personally signed it. One of one, pretty much. Very limited edition, and that's going to be going along with the. It's going to go to a different person that doesn't win the bike, but your sponsorship block contribution gets you entered for that as well.
I feel like somebody's gonna win that and put it on like the ceiling of their bedroom or something.
Just stare at it all the time.
Just stare at it like, you know what? God, I love Kevin Moranz.
Scale of 1 to 10, how mad do you think everybody's going to be if I win that bike?
Super pissed. Super pissed.
System's rigged.
Systems rigged. Super pissed.
All right. Well, you got anything else for Kev?
Ah, man, just glad to hear that his deal came through, and it's awesome. He's getting a shot to go to World Supercross.
I'm pumped on it.
I'm pumped for it.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, definitely pumped.
Thank you.
Did he just say yeehaw?
Yeah, as a yawn, too.
Definitely pumped to see that
Yeah,
Honda
no.
rip some holies, get Ken Roxon
Dude,
super
I
pissed off
know.
like AC.
And that's one thing, anybody who's looking up to put some hole shot money, I'm pretty sure Tank Masters is out on the program too. So
There you go.
we're looking for some new sponsors to come on board.
TLR Coatings is broke right now, man. So
Like I said, he can just piss off. He can just piss off Ken and Savachi like you made AC mad.
it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. How?
man.
Oh, never mind. Nothing. Never mind.
There you go.
Never mind.
Never
Never mind.
mind.
I'm out. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Kev. We'll have you on
Indeed.
we'll have you on in a couple weeks here after the whole first round and if you make it to Southwick and all that kind of crap.
Because that
So,
sounds like it's going to be adventurous.
sounds like it's going to be a busy 2 weeks for
yeah,
you.
very busy.
Yeah, indeed.
So, all right, man. Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you taking the time to
Taking
come
the
on the
time.
show.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you later, bud.
All right, sounds good.
See you, bud.
Yeah, go to bed. Bye. All right, Kevin Moranz, everybody.
Love that guy.
WSX, outdoors,
All in one.
all in one. All right, man. We got to cook here. Let's back this up here. This is great radio.
Back
Yeah,
that
we're
ass
behind.
up.
We're behind. Kev put us behind. What's new?
Yep.
All right. Let's try this again. 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. Make sure to check them out for all of your graphics needs for your bikes. I got to hit them up. I got to get them white plastics down there ready to go.
So we kind of left off with Justin Cooper. Bummer. Probably
Yeah.
not racing Redbud.
We'll see. I don't know. Weird situation yesterday.
Bummer. Definitely, I think, was the only one. Notice how I'm going to say the only one that could have made this championship interesting.
Oh boy, here come the comments already.
I was very impressed at his Thunder Valley ride. Won the first moto like he should have, and I was actually, and I would have said this had I caught him on the show. The second moto very impressed me because of the fact we've always said Justin Cooper bad starts, race IQ ain't great. Can't work his way
I wasn't
through.
as impressed. He only came up to 4th. Should have been on the box.
You got on the box.
He only came back to 4th that second moto. He was on the box overall, but he only came back to 4th. He went from 13th.
Yeah, but look at all the dudes. See, that's the thing. Normally he wouldn't even come that far up. So I was very impressed.
I was underwhelmed. I've been underwhelmed by his whole season, though. And like I said, this is... I started talking about this earlier, obviously, then we jumped on with Jace there. This is the prime example of bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And like I said, he should have kept riding Supercross. That's all there was to it. He should have done everything he could have to stay on that 450 and ride Supercross races there, because now he put all this effort and they put everything, and this is on Star too, because I don't think this was fully
it's not
him.
just J. Coop.
But it's like, but now you've put all this onto him winning this outdoor title, and he's out of it. Like, he's done.
I don't necessarily. I put more blame on Star than I do him.
Well, we won't ever know those inner workings like that unless we somehow become friends with him, which I doubt. We'll have private jet money. So,
Well, neither does he.
So we're out on that. But yeah, that's rough. We'll see.
He would have kept making the end of the series interesting. I mean, it's still very interesting, but bummer for him. Not really a J. Coop fan by any means, but I like his swag, and I've said this multiple times after the way MX of Nations went. Just something changed with him.
Yeah.
So bummer on that end, but Hunter goes 3-1, gets docked for jumping on a red
cross flag. Yep.
Yeah, which whatever. Well, I don't know. Hopefully somebody has a video at some point, because I'd like to see where that was.
I'll be honest. I don't think those points make a fuck all difference here in this title, because he's running away. He's
also running away by circumstance too, because like I said, it was 16 up on J. Coop, but I think the J. Coop momentum kind of shifted, and for confidence, at least for him, maybe not in the points, but like a momentum shifted in his mind as far as confidence.
Maybe, but dude, Hunter, I said this last week because I had to correct myself, because after Hangtown, I was like, ooh, man, like, this isn't as impressive as I thought it might be with him. He's so calm. He just doesn't give a shit. Like, he just starts wherever, and off he goes.
I think he's calm, though, because I think that he realizes when he doesn't have the speed to win a moto.
I think he's got the swagger that he's got all these guys covered.
But I don't think he does. That's the thing. He's won.
He's 55. I mean, he was 50 points
okay,
up.
but
He's 42 now.
Circumstantial, though. Circumstantial. Like, he's only that much up because of circumstances. It's not like he's winning every moto. Like, you can say all he wants that he's calm, but he's not his brother. Like, he doesn't have an extra speed. Like, it's been proven. When he hasn't gotten a start, has he won yet? Answer me that. Seriously, has he won yet? No, he hasn't. So, like, and you can even look at it. I mean, you can shrug your shoulders.
He's won for the he's literally
won all the overalls.
He's gone 3-1, 3-1, 2-1, 3-1.
When but he's only won a moto though when he's gotten a start. He has not yet to win a moto when
he's gotten half the starts. So
yeah, and that's how you win titles that way. Not taking anything away from Hunter, but I don't believe that he thinks he has everyone covered, because if he did, he'd be able to work his way through the pack and still win. He's not his brother.
I don't know, man.
Jet can say, I got this covered, and he's proven it.
He looks way too calm in the first half of those first motos, fucking around in 8, 9, 10.
But what has happened every time that he's gotten into third?
And then he starts moving.
But what has happened every time he's gotten into third in the first motos? He has not had the speed to go forward.
But I'm just saying they're too far ahead at that point. But he's so calm the first half of that moto.
They were only 8 seconds
with bad starts that he's just like, yeah, whatever, dude, it's fine. As long as I get third, I'll be able to win the second one.
And that's what I'm saying, though. I don't believe if he actually thinks he's got him covered, he's got to look himself in the mirror, because that's false. I believe that he is calm because I think he is okay with not winning a moto, because he knows if he gets a start, he can win then.
Yeah.
If he truly believes that he thinks he's got all these dudes covered speed-wise, he needs to get his head checked, because that's false.
Look, I'll be straight with you. I was in the same boat you were last week or 2 weeks ago of like, holy crap, like, dude, what the hell? Like he should have these guys covered and he doesn't, or whatever. And then just seeing this every single week. I mean, here's the thing. I would be more worried if he hadn't won half the motos. But and I understand what you're saying. Yeah, when he doesn't get the start, he doesn't come through and win the moto. But it's like, for some reason, it's like the first one, he can't figure it out. But then the second one, he always figures it out.
But we said the same thing with J. Coop, though. We had this conversation after Hangtown. Like, J. Coop all of a sudden is just okay with not putting it on the deck. And then what does he go out and do when he gets to start Thunder Valley? He wins the first moto.
Yeah.
So I think Hunter is calm because I think he's finally okay with, I don't need to win these motos if I can't win these motos. But if he's actually calm because he thinks he has these covered, that's just not factual. Like, yes, he has won every second moto, but because he's gotten a start. If you have somebody covered...
Okay, let's just go covered with consistency then.
Yeah, because he's not his brother.
That's what he's got.
Jet has the dudes covered. Hunter doesn't have that because he has yet to win both motos. So it's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. He's got the points lead. He's got a big gap. He's won every overall.
Got a huge points lead. He's fucking.
But once again,
he's averaging 10 points around.
But once again,
people.
circumstantial. Your second place guy closest to you weeds it, goes down. Like, I've gotten to the point that I look at a lot of this stuff in a broader view.
I think the broader view is he can literally manage these last 7 rounds literally from the points lead of going, yeah, as long as I get on the box, I'm fine.
Well, until he doesn't get to start a second moto.
But there isn't any of these guys. Yeah, but here's the thing. None of these guys, you want to talk about him, none of these guys are even as consistent as he is. Like, yeah, there's guys that can beat him because they're faster or they get a start and he doesn't. But none of them can do it consistently.
My thing will be what's going to happen when he doesn't get a good start, both motos. That's the true test for me.
He goes 3-3,
maybe
loses fucking 6 points or something,
maybe,
or maybe he goes 3-3 and fucking wins the overall anyway because none of these other fucking guys can put it together. Look at the rest of the box. 1-7-2-6. There is not a bead of sweat on Hunter's brow about any of these fucking guys.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out real quick in a hurry. These next couple tracks we're going to, where it's more fast paced, and he has been up and down the last couple years as far as results.
Yeah,
because we saw what he did with Redbud last year.
Yeah.
Like, we saw what happened at Southwick.
But then again, too, I thought at Thunder Valley or High Point here, we were going to see a little bit of a fall off maybe because he didn't have
what
these
happens if
guys
he goes
all
to Southwick
covered?
and he goes 8-8? He sucked last year. Okay, he didn't suck. He was terrible at Southwick last year.
Well, Styles isn't there for him to punch in the head, so I think we'll be fine.
We're gonna find out. Look, Hunter's got this championship, circumstantial, but I don't believe that he thinks he has these guys covered because he hasn't beat them both motos
Who
yet.
do you think wraps it up first, Hunter or Jet?
I don't think. Jet's won every moto so far, so like Jet would easily be the person to go.
Jet's won every moto, and Jet was still before the penalty. Jet was only what, like 10 points more or something like that. I don't even know.
I don't know.
Than what Hunter was, and Hunter's gone 3-3-3-3.
I don't expect Hunter to go 3-1 for the rest of the year. I don't expect him to win every.
I didn't expect him to do it 4 fucking motos in a row. Like literally yesterday, I was like, oh, here we go, because yesterday was with Shimoda in that first turn, and then. Next thing you know, it's just like, oh, well, he's in third.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody else is gone, like, whatever it was. Like, RJ and Hayden were gone. But, like, okay, cool, whatever. I'll just settle in for my third. I'll win this next one. You two boneheads will do something stupid, which happened. Surprise, surprise.
Well, that really wasn't RJ's.
I leave with 10 points up.
Yeah. The second motor wasn't really RJ or Deegan's fault. But, well, it was more Deegan's fault than it was RJ's fault.
Yeah.
RJ was just caught in the shit. No, but I don't expect Hunter to just go 3-1 for the rest of the year. There's going to be a time where he doesn't get to start second moto and he doesn't win. Like it's just fact. It's just
what's the percentage you think he doesn't finish? What's the percentage you think we see a moto where he doesn't finish on the podium? Because right now he's batting 100% for finishing on the podium.
I think if it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be one of these next 3 tracks.
What's the percentage pie you give it that it happens though?
60% it does, 40% it doesn't.
You give it 60%.
Yeah, because
he misses the box.
Because these next 3 tracks, he's been notoriously up and down.
And I'm not even talking about motor failure. Let's not even talk about.
No, I'm talking about
just.
I'm just talking about outright. It's notorious. These next 3 tracks, he has been up and down. High Point, he's been great at over the years. Thunder Valley, he's been great at over the years. Hangtown, he's been really good at over the years. Paula, up and down.
This is my best friend you're talking about.
I don't care.
I give it 10%.
No. Sorry, I don't.
I just through 4 rounds. If this was like a normal year where we only did the first 2 and they were California tracks, or even the first 3, and we were seeing this, I'd be like, okay. But now we've gone to an East Coast track too, and it's still fucking happened. So like, I don't see.
We'll see.
I don't know. I don't see it at this point. Like like it's gonna be rare. It's probably gonna take a bike failure, in my opinion.
Nah.
I don't know.
History
maybe we
says
haven't
otherwise.
maybe we haven't seen his speed either because he's
I don't agree
calm
with that.
about
I don't
it.
agree with that. I don't agree with that. Nope. I'm sorry. Jet, I can totally agree with you on that. There's no proof that that is not true. Because you know why I say that? Because Hunter, how many times in these first motos has he gotten into third and you've seen his lap times drop and then all of a sudden he just stalls out?
Maybe.
It's this is no. Jet, you could totally convince me, and I would agree with you 100%. But I look at Hunter, and there's no way on God's green earth you can convince me in those first motos that he doesn't want to try to win, and he gets to the point that he just can't do it.
Okay.
It's
All
just
right.
it's not. No, I'm sorry.
Like I said, I'm 10%, you're 60%. We'll see. So RJ goes 1-7 for second.
Yet again proves that if he can get a start, he can win.
Mathis really thought he'd fixed himself, and it's
The second moto though was not his fault,
the second moto wasn't. But you
and
go
the
back
first moto we win. So what do you mean fix?
You go back to last week. No, he thought he'd fixed his consistency
Oh,
issue.
yeah. Well, I mean, we had
And
this comment
then-
when we were doing the preview show. Like,
Yeah.
Supercross is one thing, but can he do it outdoors where it's like he feels the need to go a little more balls to the wall? He has a little bit more open space. He can, gets loose, can correct it. But, dude, High Point yesterday was not his fault. High Point yesterday, you could have totally looked in. Yeah, I could see him going 1-1.
Yeah.
Because I believe had he got to start the second moto, he probably would have won that moto.
Maybe.
Like, dude, he was clearing away faster than everybody else.
He was really good that first moto. He was really good. I didn't think he was going to hunt Deegan back
what was
down.
it? What was it? Was it 2 years ago or 2 years ago where he did the same thing where he just was gone?
Yeah.
And then the chain broke. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was 2 years ago because that was
Yeah, I
when
think
Jalik
so.
went 1-3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Look, RJ keeps proving that when he gets starts, he can beat all these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday was not his fault. The second moto, dude, just bad luck, whatever. And it's not even like he got a bad start. Like, dude, because if he would have got a mid-pack start, he'd be like, well, just to start with shit. He got a good start. It was just out of his control. Mm-hmm. And there's a real good possibility. Had that not happened, he would have been in top 3 coming out of that second turn. He might have made Hunter's day real fucking tough.
He still has cost himself too many points in these first few rounds here.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
but he's third in the points. And here's the thing. He's third in the points. He's what? 15 back of Deegan, because I think it's 36 and 51. 15 back of Deegan. I mean, dude, RJ could go get second in the points and have his best season ever by getting second in Supercross and second in outdoor points.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that as a win for him. Because here's the thing. He's already gotten more wins this year than he ever has, moto-wise,
Yeah.
outdoors in the same season. Because I think he's only ever gotten one in each season.
Is that it?
Well, he's won more. He's won more than one moto, but I'm saying I don't think he's ever gotten 2 moto wins in a season.
Oh, okay.
So because remember for a while it always happened would happen at Budds Creek, and
Yeah.
so he's already doing better. It's just yes, he still made mistakes, but dude, you give him 2 starts, he might be the first guy to go 1-1.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he can't do that with 2 starts, but again, I don't think he gets 2 starts. At least not at this point. He hasn't proved to me that he can do it.
Well, yesterday he was on track, and then some bullshit happened, and
Well,
that wasn't his fault. So I'll give him a pass for yesterday. That second moto stack up was not his fault.
I think that that crash he had too, he just found a soft spot by accident.
Well, I mean, look what Jet did. Same,
Yeah.
almost the exact same thing.
All right, so now we're going to get into our Isaac Nelson Designs Deegan Danger Zone section. This is where we wrap up Hayden Deegan's High Point finishes here. So he went 2-6 for third.
Got RJ.
Got RJ.
Look, RJ was gonna, dude. He was holding her wide. Popped out of the rut, wheelied, and he's
both
like, "I'm gonna
feet off the pegs.
He's like, "I'm
I
gonna
was like,
fucking."
oh my god.
Oh, dude,
Oh
because
my
he
God.
really wanted to make that inside line work, and he's
He
like, "Look,
did.
he pivoted out, wheelied, that back end just squatted, and he's like, I'm gonna hold it wide open, and I'm gonna run this kid into the rut."
Did you think when we got on the podium there that Deegan was going to say something about how that went, or
Did you watch the press conference?
I did not?
Somebody was saying that Deegan was emotional in the press conference, like he almost started crying. I don't watch the press conference, so like
Now I'm gonna have to watch it.
yeah, and I don't know. This is just what I had heard.
Oh boy,
but
Oh, boy.
apparently,
we're
like,
definitely getting comments now.
good. We're gonna go into the whole comment thing and the people with Deegan.
Oh, boy.
Look, Deegan had a great first moto. Was never going to beat RJ. Like,
Yeah.
look, you may have said that you didn't think he was going to catch him. There was no point, even when RJ like made that mistake with 2 laps to go or whatever, and he dropped back 4 seconds. I'm like, dude, the whole up until he crashed, he was gapping Deegan every lap. He was making up too much time. He was doing what he always did. He was bombing the downhill. When you drop down off that little speed single, then you come back up before the finish. He had that nice line on the outside where he was literally staying all the way to the outside edge, staying out of the square edges. I was like, the only way RJ's not winning this moto is if he crashes again. Because
Yeah.
he was he was too much faster than Deegan up until he crashed for me not to believe that he wasn't going to catch and pass him again.
I'll be honest. I'm impressed with how good Deegan was that first moto, because you look at like that track and like last week at Thunder Valley, those are not Deegan style tracks. Deegan is wide open,
but the softness
slam
though
it into the berm and fucking rip it. But he's not. I don't look at him as the first moto though. I don't look at him as quite that technical with the ruts.
Well, here's
like
the
that.
thing though. Second moto, ruts were starting to dry up, get a bit harder. You couldn't bounce out and pivot out and kind of take away some of the mistake. First moto, it was soft, hold it wide open. You blew a rut, pivoted out of corner. You could just hold it wide open, clutch it a little bit. Second moto, rut started to harden up a little bit, kind of like Thunder Valley. It exacerbated your mistake a little bit if you cross rutted or whatever. So he made it up to 6. Look, Deegan had a great day. Rode really well that first moto.
I think he's gonna be good at Southwick, dude, because he's gonna be able to just lay that thing.
I mean, he's ridden there. We'll see. I mean, you got some sand guys there that
I'm just saying. I look at his riding style, and here come the comments. So please comment below, all you Deegan guys who are gonna hate this. He is not a technical rider like that.
He's not precise. He's not precise.
Not precise and technical. He's ram it in there, drop the clutch, bounce off. Berm on the
look
outside.
When he was coming back into the first turn, he
Yeah.
was fucking second gear over rev going back across the first turn.
Yeah, and
like you could hear he wasn't shifty. He's like, I'm gonna get every inch out of these RPMs.
And like Redbud, okay, that'll be good for him. Millville, that'll be good for him. Southwick, I think that'll be good for him.
Washougal's gonna be a
Washougal might be sketchy.
Washougal, Unadilla.
Yeah.
Unadilla. So look, hey, rode good, second in the points.
He's having a banner year, dude.
He's having a really good year, but and this is where we're gonna me.
Oh boy, here we go.
I don't like the fact that RC had to say on multiple times yesterday, "Oh yeah, man, wait till his next year. Like this is his learning year." Well, we know that Deegan said he wants to try to win this outdoor title.
Yeah.
And if you noticed how the comment, like he had an interview yesterday. I don't know when it was, but he's like, "Yeah, learning a little bit, trying to go further into next year. Like this is, we're building or whatever, the bike setup." You're kind of contradicting yourself, bud. You kind of already told your mechanic that you want to win this title and you want to be in it. And now because you have a bad round and I'll say bad round in relative terms because he still had a good round at Thunder Valley.
Yeah.
Now your tune's changing a little bit. And I'm going to say this because I didn't get to talk on the Thunder Valley. For all you morons that actually believe that Hayden Deegan was not trying to be hold up Hunter in this cross jumping.
These comments were great.
I'm like, dude, like anybody that doesn't believe what Deegan was doing was unnecessary. You've never thrown a leg over a dirt bike, and you're only saying that because you've never actually had someone fucking cross jump you before. Go ride a motocross track for once, because I know a lot of you Deegan fans don't ride.
The best comment of that whole thing was, "Well, that's the way the rut went up the face."
Ruts don't weave in and out down a straightaway. Like
the rut up the face. He did not go in a rut up that face that hooked a right.
Yeah, and I'm also sorry to say I didn't really see anybody else like cross it over, rolling up the faces and shit. Nobody started on the right side of the pocket and ended up on the left side going up.
That was a real Deegan person.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, the only time you start looking over and you start cross-jumping people and you start going outside to in, inside to out, going especially down through transitions, it's because you don't actually have the pace to move forward. Anybody that looks back, you're riding dirty. You're doing whatever you can to stay in front of said person behind you because you can't just walk away from them. So I'm going to ride a wide bike, kind of like what Jalik did that second moto at Hangtown. He started to drop off speed-wise. He knew, hey, I got to ride a wide bike.
Yeah.
But I have a real issue with you people actually believing that Hayden Deegan... That's not who Hayden Deegan is.
And I agree with JT wholeheartedly. He's way too good to ride like that.
He is.
He's way too good. Like JT said, look, dude, Hunter's going to pass you. No matter what, I'm sorry to tell you at this point, Hunter's going to pass you. Let him not let him. Just allow it to happen naturally like it's going to. Go the inside, he'll go the outside, whatever line you want to run, he'll go the opposite, and he'll pass you. Tuck in. Find lines with him. This is how you're going to learn, which is what you're trying to do, which is awesome. But like doing the dumb shit that was happening, like just don't do it. You're too good for that to get branded with that.
And if any of you don't believe that Hunter would go for blood, you're also a moron too.
Oh,
Because
I got told that. He
because watch what he
wasn't
did
really trying to hit
Watch
him.
what he did to my boy Nate Thrasher at Daytona. He will tee you up, and he has no problem with it. He does not care who you are.
Do you think he was trying to do that there in that corner?
Oh, I think he was definitely going.
He was
for the
aiming
front end.
for that front
now,
wheel.
I don't think that he was going to saw it off because had he had to saw it off, he would have blew the rut and it would have stalled his own momentum. But he was definitely going to run it in on him. And had Hayden not checked up like he did, he was taking Deegan over that rut.
Yep.
And I'm just sorry to say, like, Deegan doesn't want to play those games with Hunter this year. Like, Hunter's not all about that. He will put you on the ground.
I said this
He
last
did it to
week.
Nate. If he looks at you like a threat and he thinks you're going to ride like that, he'll put you over the
he
berm.
knows he's going to ride like that. You heard the press conference,
And I like
right?
how
Or
everybody
the-
was like, oh, like
the
Hunter seemed,
podium.
yeah, Hunter's like, oh, but he was talking, he was like commending him at Detroit. And I'm like, he wasn't commending him at Detroit. He was just saying, oh, this is how he rides. But I think it's funny when you have somebody as established like Hunter that'll make the comment that we all have been trying to say.
which is this is how he
This
rides.
is who Deegan is.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say about Deegan before I wrap this up, because I'm just waiting for the comments. Waiting for them.
Don't
Love
worry,
'em.
they're coming.
Loving. I just want to wonder what all of you people that keep saying in the comments, you can't wait to see us at a track. Then what? Like, what are you going to do to us?
I
when
guess I missed those.
Oh, there's people that have been like, oh, I'd love to see him at the Deegan fans. Oh, I'd love to see him at a track. Saying about us.
Well,
What are you guys going to do when you see it as a track?
that happens too.
Yeah, so, like, look,
It's okay.
calm yourselves down. Just tone her back a little bit. And just,
God,
Pay attention.
Jesus, children,
yeah, like,
family man,
yeah, just calm down a little bit.
just chill
Take
out.
a deep breath.
We're just spewing forth opinions here.
And we respect the way Deegan's riding, but we're just saying he needs to tone it back a little bit.
He's in second in the points,
And he's in
dude.
second
He's
in
doing
the points.
well.
He's doing well. Did he prove us wrong? Yeah, he did. But some of you guys, your fandom
We
is,
got to really tone this back.
your fandom is overboard. It's overboard. So just take it down a notch.
All
take
right.
it down a notch.
Let's get through this because we've been doing this a long time now. So Joe Shimoda goes 7-3 for 4th overall.
Are you surprised that he
He's-
just hasn't had it some of these motos?
He's over that bike.
Well, I mean, he's ready to go to the Honda.
He's over that bike.
I just it's real and it's really weird to me that there's some motos where he's got it, and there's just other motos where it's like he just like when Hunter passed him, I was like, oh, Joe will latch on to him and he'll try to follow him. He probably maybe won't follow him through the pack, but he can focus on running that pace, and Hunter just leaves him. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Everything I'm hearing, he's over that bike.
Well, he's going to a good bike next year.
Yeah,
so.
I'd be interested if we see Nick at Redbud. We should talk to him and be like, hey, off the record here.
Because it's weird because there's been motos where his speed has been there. It's definitely got to be just it's completely. I mean, it always is, but it's definitely got to be just comfortability. Like, but hey, we are going to where he got his first overall last year.
Well, Mathis asked him something. I don't remember if it was about the bike or something like that, and he dodged the question.
Yeah,
he went. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, we are going to Redbud.
Yeah,
and he's got some good juju. That's
We'll
where he
see.
got his overall last year. So,
Tom Vial goes 11-2 for 5th overall.
hey man, that second moto really fucking good.
Was really good.
Especially considering I'm gonna assume I don't know this for certain, so maybe I'm gonna be wrong. I assume he probably didn't at all do much riding and training this week with how bad that wrist
Scale
was.
of 1 to 10, how have these first 4 gone, with 10 being like, oh my god, this is exactly what I thought, and a 1 being like, holy shit, this is a disaster. Scale of 1 to 10, how have these first 4 gone for him, do you think, in your opinion?
Well, and here's the thing, and I'm gonna be objective about this. You look at the first 2 rounds, 7-3. We kind of all like he's getting the shit figured out. The second motos, his speed has been there. Thunder Valley was just disastrous, but once again, like part of it was not his fault. It was bad from Jump Street. Like that first turn crash was. I mean, it took out another one of my favorites, Guillaume Ferez.
Yeah.
Like that was bad. That was really, really bad. Not his fault. Whatever.
I saw a picture of his arm hanging today,
Guillaume?
and I was like,
Dude,
like,
I feel so bad for that kid. Like, dude, he was gonna have a good rest of the year.
Yep.
So I really also just hope this doesn't set him back for getting ready for Supercross next year.
Yep.
So Thunder Valley take out, and hey man, second moto when he got into second, he was closing on Hunter, and then I'm just assumed that maybe his cardio failed him, maybe the wrist got tight. But hey, he was inching up on Hunter, like he was closing the gap, and then it dropped back a little bit. That's fine. I would say, hearing his comments and the things that he said about the qualifying system and the bike and the tracks, right now I'm just gonna be in the middle. I'm gonna give him a 5. I'm gonna give him a 5.
I'm going to go with a 4. I don't think this has gone anywhere remotely close to where he wanted to be. I honestly, yeah. I mean, it's slightly underwhelming. He's had sparks, but it's a bit underwhelming. It just proves like how good our guys are who go from Supercross to outdoors.
Well, maybe. You don't think
him riding Supercross for the last 6 months has had anything to do with his outdoor suffering here?
For him, yes, because he's never ridden Supercross.
Yeah.
But I'm just because I've seen in a lot of the comments that people are like, well, that just proves how good our guys are or whatever.
I'm more saying how good our guys are at transitioning between the two.
Well, yeah, but you also got to think Tom's never ridden Supercross up until this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'll go in the middle. I just think 5, because every second moto he's had this year has been better than the first, and now he goes and gets his win's coming soon. He's getting a moto win soon. It might be at Redbud. It might be at Southwick. He's also really good in the sand. He's like 8 in the points. He's gonna be had Thunder Valley not happen and just gone how the first 2 rounds did, dude, he'd be what? He'd be third or fourth in the points still right now. So
probably, yeah.
you got to look at it as, once again, how I just said, in a broad scope of things. Yeah. You got to look at it from round by round. And had Thunder Valley just been in like the first 2 rounds, kind of like with Hunter, you'd have to assume it probably would have gone that way.
Yep.
He'd be third or fourth in the points right now. So that wouldn't be bad, right?
No.
So
that'd be okay.
You just got to look at it, and he's going to get a moto win soon. I'm telling you, he gets a start. He's going to be fine. Did I think he can win the title? Yeah, but hey, shit happens. He's going to be really good next year. I think the season's still going to go fine. So you get started some of these more fast-paced tracks, because I think the opposite. Everybody's like, you start going to some of these, like American Series is more fast-paced than the GPs. No, it's not. No, it's not. Like the GP tracks are way more wide open than our tracks are. So it's the technical shit.
I don't study it that close to know.
So I think you start going Redbud, Millville, Southwick.
Yeah,
we know let's be real, he's probably going to be really good at Unadilla.
Yeah.
So no, I think he's fine. And do the second, hey, this is his best moto so far
this
year.
Yeah.
And he walked away from third. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the moto, I think that just was he probably didn't ride this week.
Yeah.
So now you got to have another 2 weeks off. He's going to be fine.
All right. Hymus goes 8-5 for 6. He's had a sneaky good rookie year here.
Do you believe had Hayden Deegan not been in the class this year, we'd be talking way more about Chance?
Probably, yes.
And I fully believe that second moto, when he dropped back, had everything to do with the fact of, holy shit, I'm out front, and I think he just got tight. Yeah,
he will be on the box more coming as the season goes on here.
I think he's going to be really good at Washougal.
Especially because when he gets starts, he's really good. So Ryder D goes 5-8 for 7th.
First moto, really good.
Yeah, this is just where I think he slots in. So it's not a terrible rookie year.
Still surprising that RV works with him, though. I don't know what the deal with that is.
More surprising, RV working with him or Rhino working with Faulkner?
RV working with anyone.
Did you hear that RV jumped?
Rhino doesn't have any money.
Did you hear that RV jumped on his bike one day at the track with everybody and in tennis shoes and a helmet went 2 seconds a lap faster than everybody on some sand track?
Does that really shock you?
No.
So it's
a little bit.
It's Ron Villepoto.
He's been retired for
he's the fastest retired person on the planet.
He's the best retired rider ever.
Fucking Ron Villepoto.
Jalik Swole goes 4-11 for 8th.
Good the first moto.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, he likes High Point. I'm pissed. I missed putting him on my fantasy team.
We'll see what happens at Redbud.
I was shooting from the hip because the fucking AMA couldn't get the times uploaded from practice. Kitchen goes 12-4 for 9th.
Totally a confidence thing in these motos because, dude, when he does not get a start, he is dookie butt.
He doesn't like High Point. Did you see his qualifying? He was 32nd.
That's what I mean. But here's the thing. It's not just High Point, though. It's happened every moto. He hasn't got a start this year.
Yeah,
he is totally
He's another one that's just out on that bike, I think, at this point.
Which is the weirdest thing to think because it's you're going from the best 250 to arguably the bike that's been...
He's going pro circuit, man. It's fine.
Is it going to be fine?
It's going to be fine.
Is it going to be fine?
It's going to be fine.
Is it going to be fine?
It's going to be a new team, new me.
Yeah, whatever.
Max Volan goes 6-12 for 10th.
What in the hell?
I don't know.
He's over the bike. He's over the bike.
I'm interested to see
I'm getting so sick and tired of everybody just I'm over the bike. I'm over the bike.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is, man. I don't know that he's not one that I'm sure. No one knows what's going on with him. Maximus is very secretive.
I think it has all to do with his dad and his uncle.
Yeah. Caden Braswell, 9-13 for 11th. Not bad.
Equally impressive.
Good sportsmanship in qualifying. Picked the bike up off Ryder D when he was trapped, so that's good.
Pretty shocked that he's doing as well as he on the 250 with his big ass.
we'll see what happens here with this gas ride. Because I don't think he's on the team after outdoors. He's basically just here as a fill-in.
Which is weird because we all kind of assume we know Ryder D's going there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I think if he keeps doing that, I think he can get himself a contract.
Yep. Dylan Schwartz goes 14-9 for 12.
Don't know what has happened to Dylan Schwartz.
Who knows? He was riding World Supercross, then he wasn't, and now he's doing outdoors, and then he wasn't.
And he was on the Hemp team, and now he's on the Bar X team.
And now he's on Bar X. They said the joke they made on the Pulp review was like these Suzuki guys are like plug and play, just wherever they need them for the time being. It's the weirdest thing.
And them getting sponsored by fucking Toyota of Highlands? Like what?
I don't know.
That's your main sponsor?
I don't know. Anyway, Jordan Smith, 15-10 for 13th.
Just bad starts. I mean, he proved to Thunder Valley what happens when he gets a good start.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the speed is there. That's not a question. And it's like we said, this is such a start-dependent class.
Yeah.
Because he was awesome at Thunder Valley. Doesn't get a start. Kind of hard to work your way up in this group. No?
Is he back at Star next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Preston Kilroy goes 10-15 for 14th. That 10th was really good for club on the 250 there.
Yeah, considering, how the rest of their year's gone.
Yep. Talon Hawkins, 13-14 for 15th.
I don't really know what to say about Hawkins.
I mean, dude, he got thrown into Supercross without really meaning to do it. He was supposed to go pro for the outdoors, so now you're looking at you wore him out essentially in Supercross. And
so here's my question for you. Well, I'll wait till we're done with the 250 group.
All right. Derek Kelly goes 16-16 for 16th, which is
not bad.
I heard he's hurt, but nobody really knows.
Doesn't shock me.
Chase Yenser, 17-17 for 17th. That's a good one. I had him on fantasy.
Local High Point, local Pennsylvania kid.
Yeah, I had him for fantasy. Slade Smith, 19-18 for 18th. Maxwell Samford, 18-19 for 19th. And Mitchell Zaremba. Yeah, 24-20 for 20th.
Heartbreak for Matty Jorgensen.
Yeah. Rody Schroyer, shout out, Michigan's own.
Yeah, Roddy Schroyer.
27-30 for 28th. Jerry Lorenz. It's weird because it's got his full name on here. Gerald Lorenz the third.
Yeah.
31-37 for 34th. And yeah, that looks pretty much it. Yeah, Matty Jorgensen. Yep. Tough deal for him there. Let's see here. Was there anybody else? I don't remember. Nope, that's it. Okay. Yep, that's it. So that's been your 250 class brought to you by Adept Creative Co. there.
Comment in your
Comment
Deegan
down below.
comments. Your Deegan comments.
Your Deegan
Can't
comments
wait
are
to hear
coming.
them. Probably be like 1,000 of them.
Oh, baby, I love it.
God, I love it because I don't really care
YouTube
about
algorithm.
I don't really care about it.
All right, anything else you want to touch on quick? Because I got to go eat. I'm starving.
Deegan, Hawkins, Hymas, Braswell. Take Deegan out of it. Probably take Hymas out of it. So we know Juju. We know Dax. We know Phineas. Those are going to be the three that are probably going to be the bigger names coming out of the amateurs after Loretta's.
Sure.
Do we expect those three outdoors for the last 3 rounds to be better than Hawkins, Braswell?
I'll be real honest. I got to watch the Redbud Combine before because I don't know anything about these kids riding outdoors.
Well,
other than basically Bennick.
You know about Bennick.
But Bennick was but I have bias too because he was really good in Supercross. So I look at it as like, well, yeah, he's going to be really good, but who the fuck knows? So I'm going to wait till we see the Combine. Ask me this question after Redbud.
Okay, because I'm really curious to see what.
I want to see these kids ride in person.
Well, I've already seen Bennick and Juju ride quite a bit, and they're very good. I don't know about the rest of the group.
Bennick is good, but again, I have recency bias because of Supercross. So, like I said, ask me this same question after Redbud, and then we'll talk about it.
So, yeah, Redbud, 2 weeks. We get Hammaker back. Who
Yep.
knows on the 450s? I don't fucking know. I don't really know what Hammaker's going to do because I don't know how healthy he is.
Do we see a Jason Anderson sighting before the year's over?
That's funny.
I don't think so either.
Did you see that Matt LeBlanc played a joke on everybody on Instagram or whatever? And
No.
he put something that had to do with Triumph, and he's like, Triumph 2024? Question mark. He's fucking around with people because they're like, oh, you guys are looking for a rider, and then somebody goes, Matt LeBlanc ain't riding anymore.
Yeah.
He's not coming back to racing.
Sold his Honda, too. Or
Yeah, he ain't racing ever again, probably. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is such a weird year as far
Going
as
great. Everything's going great.
racing has been good. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like racing's been really good. we got to get some of these 450 dudes back, though, because, look, I love watching Jet Ride. I love watching these battles. I love to see that Dylan's getting better, but it's getting to the point, though, that it's just...
It's rough.
It's
watching.
weird, really awesome for Ty Masterpool and Grant Harlan and all these dudes and Derek Drake, but it is just getting to the point that it's very odd to see a bunch of privateers battling with, like, the 4th and 5th factory, dude.
Yeah.
We got to get some of these guys back.
Yep. So, all right. Well, this has been episode 242 of the Moto Aftermath Show. Thanks to our sponsors, Complete Racing Solutions, TLR Coatings, Holster Co., Gutter Worx, Adept Creative Co., and Isaac Nelson Designs. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to share with your friends here. Make sure to comment down below with your Deegan insights. And we are...
That's funny.
Yeah, we're off next week. We will be back in a couple of weeks with Redbud stuff. Look out for Redbud content because we'll be there. If you see us there, make sure to come up and say hi, even if you don't agree with what we have to say. And yeah, we'll be back with a full-blown Redbud show here after this. So thanks everybody for tuning in. See y'all next week.